That's up next. It's the Caravan taking on the Bulldogs.
Call JT's Tree and Crane and remove those hazardous trees today. JT's also offers emergency services and storm damage cleanup. So when you think trees, think JT's.
Proud sponsor of the JT's Tree and Crane Weather Garden.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate. Go ahead. Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. This is Ann. How can I help you?
Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing?
Yes, all three. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products.
Really? See? They're great. But what's all this going to cost me?
We know things can add up quickly. That's why Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium and $0 preventive screenings.
Oh, I like that.
Then I think you'll like our strong network of doctors. And you can manage it all in our mobile app or on our website.
I told you.
Let me walk you through your plan options and find the one that's right for you.
That'd be great.
About me exaggerating?
Focus. Try harder. These things are a lot easier to say than, I think my child needs support. More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD. Many aren't getting the support they need. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do.
Or $47 tune-up special.
We are moments away from the 7A state title game. That's Batavia against Mount Carmel. The Caravan, they're looking for a three-peat.
How does Batavia change the narrative? Mount Carmel's beaten them 4 times in a row. Can Batavia change things up and make it a different story? We're about to find out.
All right, the Bulldogs have had their season ended each of the last 4 seasons by Mount Carmel, so there's some revenge as a factor here. We'll be back to tell you more about this contest. 7A state title game just minutes away right here on the IHSA television network.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Epic Black Friday deals at Menards are back. Pick up this 12-volt cordless drill kit for only $9.99. Get a dual-head LED work light with tripod for just $14.99. Secure big savings on a 4-pack ratchet strap set, now just $4.97. Or snag these giant 54-inch snow tubes for only $9.99 each. Hurry in for best selection. Don't miss out. These deals won't last long.
Save big money at Menards.
It's time for Christmas at Cantini. A time for laughter and joy. A time for cherished moments by coming together with the ones you love. Be awed by twinkling lights. Feel the thrill of gliding on ice. And enjoy the cozy warmth of s'mores by the fire. Cherish the moments together. This holiday season at Christmas at Cantini. Get your tickets at cantini.org.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Back in the IHSA Television Network studios here in Chicago alongside Kenny McReynolds, Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I am Marshall Harris. Batavia, Mount Carmel. This is a matchup we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's a matchup we've been waiting for. Mount Carmel, remember, they play for championships, and they have the best player in the state in Jack Elliott, the quarterback.
These are the guys my mom told me to stay away from. It's going to be fun.
All right, it'll be a good time. We'll be with you at halftime, but until then, let's send it down to Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State. It's Dave Bernhardt and Chris Highland with the call. Guys?
Well, thank you, Marshall, Edgy, and Kenny. Great to have you with us here at Hancock Stadium. Now, a different venue, but very familiar uniforms. Chris, a couple of years ago, these two teams met, Mount Carmel and Batavia. And, you know, these two programs really know each other very well.
Yeah, they really do. They played in the last state title game back in Champaign in 2022. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that game tonight. But the last 4 years, Mount Carmel has knocked Batavia out of the playoffs. The Bulldogs are looking to turn the tide here tonight, though, in Normal.
Yeah, these are two programs that are very familiar with each other, not necessarily in the best ways. But for Mount Carmel, here is what they are. They are tied for the top spot in most state championships, 15, and they're tied with Joliet Catholic Academy. JCA lost earlier today. This is the way Mount Carmel got there. You take a look at those big offensive numbers. But they took everything that Normal Community had and held off the Ironmen that 49-42 win before winning in the semifinals 43-24. For Batavia, they have themselves a trip once again. This is a very familiar program in the state finals under head coach Dennis Perron. Here come the Bulldogs, led by a ceramic Bulldog right there. They come onto the field. This is how they got to Normal. Now, we have to tell you, when you see this road to Normal, this is not a misprint. 25-21, 25-21, Lincoln Way West, Lincoln Way Central. Very similar ball games. Batavia had to come from behind to defeat Lincoln Way West. And then Lincoln Way Central, the same thing. The Bulldogs scoring with just 31 seconds to play in that ball game to find themselves here in the state championship once again. So we're all set. Kenny, Edgy, and Marshall have been talking about it. We've been waiting for it. You're going to get it. Coming up next, we got your 7A championship game. Mount Carmel and Batavia. Stay with us.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
About an hour late getting started here in your 7A championship game. Complete darkness here in Normal, Illinois. With Chris Highland, I'm Dave Bernhardt. The third member of our broadcasting crew is down in the cold. That's Nicole Sedevy.
Thanks, guys. Well, a player to watch in this one is, of course, Mount Carmel's senior quarterback, Jack Elliott. He has been called by many as one of the best players in the state, and he showed it with a 5-touchdown performance against St. Rita in the semifinals. But it hasn't been smooth sailing for him all season long. He did come up with a shoulder injury in week 6. Forced him to be a little bit more reserved, more mature. But head coach Jordan Lynch told me he is unrestricted for this championship game, so watch for him to use his legs and run the ball. They get the ball first.
All right, right, very good. Thank you, Nicole and Chris. We've seen that the progression through the playoffs. He's full speed, but Jack Elliott, you've seen him build in terms of how physical he has been throughout these playoffs following that injury.
I mean, he's the one that makes the entire Mount Carmel offense go. There's no shortage of amazing things that you can say about Elliott. He is one of the best players in the state. You're going to see it on full display tonight. He's certainly one of the players to watch in this game.
Mount Carmel to get the ball first because Batavia won the coin toss. They elected to defer until the second half. Deep for the Caravan will be Javi Payne and Quentin Burrell. You're looking at Quentin Burrell right there, just a sophomore. Kicking off for the Bulldogs is Caleb Peters. And both Payne and Burrell standing about the 15-yard line. Peters hits it. This will be Burrell. He has an opening. Leapfrogs a man. He'll get down to the 30-yard line. Tackled there by Chase Osborne. That's a name we're going to see a lot. Tonight's starting lineups are presented by OSF. Talk about from skill position skills. Elliott, Burrell, Lehman, Thornton. Guy who can throw it, guys who can catch it. Up front, big and strong. Nick Lewanski, the only senior in that offensive line for the Caravan. Mount Carmel 10-3 in the season. Batavia 12-1. Jack Elliott headed to Vanderbilt. Will take the first snap of this game. He's able to pull it down. He'll get handed off to Madden Wilson. Wilson averages about 6.2 yards per carry. That's just about where all the running backs average for the Caravan. Defensively for Batavia, Malachi Smith is a beast. Gavin Pecourt, Xavier Blankwell, also very strong in that front. Jancy, Minnick, and Bohr, and then a secondary that is maybe the most athletic Dennis Perron has had, and those starting lineups were presented by OSF. Elliott on the move. That goes through the hands of Cooper Lehman.
You can see Elliott a little bit frustrated there on that second play of the drive. It's an RPO. Really good job to get outside the pocket, get the ball out of his hands. Batavia on the first two plays of the game have switched their defensive front while Mount Carmel was over the ball. You're going to see Elliott make some adjustments at the line. He's got full control of this offense, according to their head coach, Jordan Lynch. So you'll see him make some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. I'm curious to see what Batavia dials up here on 3rd and 5.
25 degrees feels like 16 degrees. The wind out of the west at 8 miles an hour. That means it's blowing from the near side to the far side. Elliott to keep it. He's going to have the first down if he turns the corner, and he'll have more. He'll get around midfield. We talk about the physicality of Jack Elliott. You saw the speed there as well.
And a quarterback run play is a huge part of the Mount Carmel offense. And Elliott does a really nice job here as you see the pressure come off the right side. It's just a simple quarterback counter. They pull two of those backs. Elliott does a nice job following those blocks, turning the corner. And Osborne's the one who finally has to push him out of bounds.
Chase Osborne, 5'9", 170-pound senior. You will see him all over the field. From their own 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. Elliott spins that way. He'll toss in the open, and there is Stephen Winkler wide open to the 42-yard line before he's brought down by Jake Feller. Keys to the game are brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, if you're Mount Carmel, you want to try and create turnovers against Batavia. I anticipate Batavia trying to take some shots down the field early against Mount Carmel and really spread out their defense. So if you're the Mount Carmel defense, you're going to want to try and create some turnovers. And if you're Batavia, you have to win the first quarter. This drive is going to be huge. Try and stop all of the Caravan's momentum if you can and try and get it in your favor by the time the second quarter rolls around.
Quick release to Burrell, 6'3", 185-pound sophomore.
And this is exactly what Mount Carmel wants to do, Dave. They want to control the clock. They want to be methodical. They want to take their time with their short game, okay, their quick passing game. And then once they get those corners up, they're going to try and go over the top as well because they've got weapons all over the field. That's what's so tough about this Mount Carmel team. They can beat you in so many different ways.
Let's see, 4 people at the top of the screen Elliott will give it to Lehman. Lehman with the cut. Quick feet will get him inside the 30.
Yeah, anytime you see a tight formation like that, the wide receivers come closer to the line of scrimmage, and you got two tight ends, my first thought when I'm thinking is quarterback run that way. Well, then once they motion, then you're thinking fly sweep if you're the defense. Now, they do a good job of trying to set the edge, but when Mount Carmel outnumbers Batavia like that to the right side, it's just hard for anybody to make a stop.
3 first downs here in the first 90 seconds of this game for the Caravan. Scooting into the game late is Madden Wilson. Elliott looking deep, wide open in the end zone, touchdown. Xander Gorman, one of the tight ends, will bring it in, and within 2 minutes of this game kicking off, Mount Carmel is on the board.
The Caravan pulling out all the tricks on the very first drive of the game. Batavia tried to bring pressure. It was Osborne coming down off the edge. That's the third or fourth time that they tried to pressure Elliott on this drive, and Jordan Lynch dials up the trick play. It's the reverse flea flicker, and Elliott finds the wide open receiver. Mount Carmel opens up the scoring here early.
Cute little wrinkle to get things started for Mount Carmel is Nico Mullen on for the extra point attempt. Mullen knocks it home. 54 out of 55 in extra points for Mullen. 7 plays, 70 yards, exactly as you said what Mount Carmel wanted.
So here comes Osborne. If you see him right there in the middle of your screen on the left side, he's going to come off the edge, and he has the reverse sniffed out perfectly. What he doesn't see and what he doesn't know is that Elliott is going to get that pitch, because look at this. Osborne's right there to make the tackle. He has to reverse field, and by then it's too late. Elliott makes the Bulldogs pay.
7-0 early here for Mount Caravan as Jack Elliott tosses his 17th touchdown of the year. Remember, Elliott missed some time with injury. It was one of the reasons that Mount Carmel picked up a loss early. Early losses came to Hun School in New Jersey. That was game number 1. That was a small college football team the way they looked. And then a loss to Brother Rice came when Elliott was missing in that ball game. The final loss came to final regular season game, a team that we'll see in a couple of hours, Loyola Academy, 31-7 defeat in that one. The only loss suffered by Batavia came against Geneva. And what about Geneva? Well, they just played for a state championship, came up short against East St. Louis. So both these teams have played very tough schedules. And this will be kicked deep. And that's a free ball. And Mount Carmel may be on top of it. And they are. One thing head coach Dennis Piron for Batavia said, we cannot have something bad happen early. That's something bad that's happening early right there.
I mean, this is the coldest game that a lot of these guys will have played in their entire careers. And that's just an unfortunate bounce for Batavia as it falls right into the hands of Mount Carmel after it's muffed at about the 11 or 12-yard line. This is a big play for Mount Carmel. They want to take shots here. This is a huge drive now for the Batavia defense. They have to hold Mount Carmel to 3 points right now.
Over the middle, a little bit behind the intended receiver. Cooper Lehman, the intended target. Josh Cayley was right there. Cayley, a great story, 6'1", 185-pound senior.
Elliott got hit late on that play, about 15 yards behind the ball. And that's the boos you're hearing from the Mount Carmel side. They wanted a flag on that play. I didn't see it in real time, Dave, to be able to see if it was roughing the passer or not. But Elliott back in shotgun here for second down.
And there is a flag.
Encroachment.
As Batavia encroachment, that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Our officials in this championship ball game are referee Steve Walliser, Mike Donnells is the linesman, Bill Sherlock, Chris Terpstra the line judge, and McLean Lomax is the back judge. first penalty of the game. 2nd down and 5. In the backfield now for the Caravan is Daniel Taylor Jr. He switched from running back after being a tight end his entire career. Taylor will get it. Hard runner inside the 10-yard line. Daniel Taylor, good size coming out of that backfield. 6'1", 215-pounder. Now, penalty flag is down on that play.
Yeah, and it's well after the play, too. I think it's getting chippy already down there. Elliott's trying to get his guys together and calm them down. This might go against Mount Carmel.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 27 in the offense. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Xander Garman had just caught that touchdown pass moments ago. Flagged on that one. So that will wipe out the gain by Taylor.
Yeah, and that earns you a nice conversation on the sideline with your coach. After a play like that, you're inside the red zone. You're marching to go up 2 scores early in the first quarter, and then you put yourself behind the chains like this. Yeah, just shove after the play.
As we said, these teams very familiar with each other. Maybe not the most congenial of teams to each other. Last year, Mount Carmel defeated Batavia in the semifinals 64-26. Now our officiating crew will try to get things set. Already state champions crowned, Nazareth Academy, 3 straight, and East St. Louis picked up their 3rd title in the last 5 years. Mount Carmel looking to go back to back to back, as is Loyola in Class 8A. Now it's Wilson in the backfield with Elliott.
Hello.
Lehman, they'll pitch it back again to Elliott. Elliott has room along the right side. Jack Elliott on the move. Elliott's going to take it in. 24-yard touchdown run for Jack Elliott.
Well, Jordan Lynch tries to go back to the well one too many times. Batavia knows this one's coming, but what they don't know is that Jack Elliott can beat you with his legs as well. I mean, look at him go. He's the best player in the state for a reason, and he's proved it already in the first 4 minutes tonight.
A touchdown pass and a touchdown run for the senior. Mullen, as we said, only 1 miss on the season in extra points. And he does not miss that one. And Mount Carmel has not missed a beat from their state championship in each of the last 2 years. Thanks to this run from Jack Elliott, 24 yards, it will be the Caravan, the 4-0 lead. 2.5 minutes into the game.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
2 touchdowns for Mount Carmel in the last 32 seconds. Both those touchdowns coming off the arm and the legs of number 9, Jack Elliott.
I mean, he's so impressive. I mean, 3 of 5 already. He's got full command of the offense out there. And we haven't even seen everything that he can do just yet. Both of those touchdowns come off of trick plays. Batavia, we talked about the key to the game for them having to win the first quarter. Well, they haven't even touched the ball yet, and they're down 14-0. So they need a very good, long, sustained drive. Might not even have to come away with points here yet, Dave. There's still a lot of football left, right? We still got 3.5 quarters to go. So you don't need points necessarily right away, but if you're Batavia, you have to put together a long drive and start to get some confidence.
So once again, it will be time for Batavia to receive this ball deep for the Bulldogs. It will be Brett Berggren and Grayson Kelly. Last time Berggren coughed it up, it led to the quick TD for the Caravan. Mullen goes Berggren's way again from the 10-yard line. The stop met and dropped. Jackson Behrens had Berggren zeroed in. Here's the offense for Batavia. First time we've seen them. Your starting lineup presented by OSF. Bodie Anderson along with Michael Vanderloop here. Those will be your alternating quarterbacks for Batavia. Nathan Whitwell, if it was a good game, Whitwell would be carrying the ball about 40 times per ball game. Tucker Somm in the middle of that offensive line for Batavia. The Bulldogs come in with an opportunity here to, as Chris said, move the ball. Quick slant pass will go to Jack Meislowitz. Quick 8.5-yard pickup. A good look at the back of the 6'1", 165-pound senior, and quarterback is Bodie Anderson. Anderson, the junior, as we said, rotates with the sophomore Michael Vanderloop. Looking for a yard. Motion from Berggren. That yard is going to be hard to come by. Turned away. Just shy to the 30-yard line by a Mount Carmel defense. It looks like this. Caleb Tucker is a freshman up front. 6'4", 330 pounds. Braden Jones headed to USC. Linebackers. Matt Muhau, he was in on that last play, number 41, along with Tristan Pusateri. Then the defensive backs of Harrington, Behrens, Payne, and Gorman. Those starting lineups presented by OSF.
3rd and 1 yard. They've stacked the wide receivers on both sides. I think they're trying to widen the box here and then run inside. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing.
And it goes for about 4 yards and enough for the first down.
That's usually a tell for an offense, Dave, when they've got those wide receivers set all the way outside the numbers and they're stacked in that position. They're trying to pull 2 defenders, maybe even a third, out of the box to that side so that they can get numbers inside and try and run inside. That's what Batavia's got to do. This is a numbers game for Batavia tonight. They got to figure out a way to line up just like they are on this play with 4 wide receivers and try and run against that 5-man box for Mount Carmel.
Nathan Whitwell got 5 yards. And that's knocked away. And a quarterback for that throw was Vanderloop. Back to Nathan Whitwell for a moment. 5'10" senior. Whitwell almost 1,700 yards on the season. He has carried over 40 times several times. Dennis Perron's the head coach for Batavia. 141 victories in his career. Dennis Perron is no stranger to the playoffs. The Batavia graduate has been to 7 semis, 4 championship games. It's Vanderloop Aaron at quarterback. Quickly, positive yardage in a big way. Got a 12-yard pickup on 2nd down. Isaiah Brown, first time we've called his name, it won't be the last. There is Jordan Lynch, head coach, a couple of state championships for Lynch in his 7th season with the Caravan. Won a state title in his 2nd year in 2019. He's gone back-to-back here in 22 and 23, so 3 championships for the Mount Carmel grad. First down to the left side. Grayson Kelly is there. Kelly, a transfer this year, he's just kept getting more and more work. You will see him in various spots of the field for the Bulldogs. You'll now see him head to the bench as there'll be some new personnel coming into the ball game for Batavia and some new personnel as well for Mount Carmel.
Vanderloop Aaron out, Anderson in. We've seen them both do a little bit of everything so far on this drive. Anderson likes to run the ball a little bit. His arm looks good. He was the one that had the injury earlier in the season, but looks to be almost fully healthy.
Run behind a double tight end set. Good enough for 3 yards on the stop. Roman Iguabique for Mount Carmel. So as a defender, Chris, you see two different quarterbacks that can do different things, a little bit similar. Does that have an impact on you personnel-wise as a player?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think both of them are so similar. What Mount Carmel would have a problem with is if one of them was a true runner and a true passer, then you would see a lot more personnel shifts probably when you saw one quarterback come in versus the other. But I think the way Anderson's throwing the ball right now, I think he can do just about everything in this Batavia offense. And Piron, I think, wants to get both of them involved early.
8th play of the drive on 3rd and 4. This one is floated out to the left side. The catch is made. Isaiah Brown, once again, 6'1", 170-pound senior, will make the first down catch. Brown averaging about 16 yards per carry. That's his 58th grab of the season.
Yeah, that's a really good throw from the middle of the field by Anderson to Brown. They're going to put Zay Brown all over the football field. When I watched this team in the semis and in the quarters, I watched the film. He lined up at tailback. He lined up at inside slot, outside receiver. They want to get their playmakers the ball, and 2 is the playmaker for Batavia.
13 yards for Brown. First down inside to 35. Vanderloop Aaron into the game. Vanderloop Aaron hot-foots it out of bounds. You know, you notice on the back of his jersey, he has his name on there, right? Vanderloop Aaron. They had to make 2 different lines. But the interesting part is, at the start of the playoff season, he did not get his name on the back of his jersey. He was a sophomore, practiced with the varsity pretty much through the midway point of the season, and then into the playoffs, gradually starting working him into games. But the way it works at Batavia, you don't get your name on the back of the jersey until you earn it. Well, here in the championship game, obviously, what he's done through the playoffs has earned him a spot. Came off the bench, throw for 269 yards. The second-round win over Lincoln Way West. Hard running straight up the middle, that's Whitwell. Mentioned earlier, Whitwell, a workhorse. He is not afraid to carry the ball. In fact, he loves carrying the ball 35, 40-plus times. 8 100-yard games for Whitwell.
Yeah, really nice job here by Batavia. They're going to have to try and double that big nose guard as much as they can. Whitwell almost gets tackled by one of his offensive linemen there as he makes away through that tight hole. Really nice job by Whitwell to get his pads over his toes and get downhill for that big run.
5 runs, 5 passes in this drive that's taken the Bulldogs inside the 20-yard line.
Mount Carmel a little bit confused by this formation by Batavia.
Good coverage downfield. There's some room on the near sideline. Vanderloop Aaron will take it out, and let's see where they say he stepped out inside the 10 to the 9.
Well, a really nice run there by the quarterback, but I think Mount Carmel's lucky there. There was a lot of confusion over on that far side of the field as Batavia went with a cluster and then also 1 extra wide receiver, so there were 4 over there. And the Mount Carmel secondary was confused on who was supposed to cover the man at the very top, but still really, really good coverage as you see Muha and those linebackers drop into coverage. That's why Mount Carmel is so tough to beat, is because those linebackers are so athletic, they can drop into coverage, and Mount Carmel can get a ton of pressure with just that front 4.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Batavia, their first possession of this game. Play action, that was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure from Muha.
Yeah, he was split out over that 3rd wide receiver for Batavia on the left side, and they bring that edge blitz. He does a nice job of getting his hands on it, but you got to give the quarterback, the sophomore, Vanderloop Aaron, some credit. He notices that blitz and knows he's got to get the ball out hot really quickly, and if he can get it to Zay Brown as playmaker, they got a chance to score. So good job there, but an even better play by Muha to get his hands on it.
Second and goal. Stands in, goes down. Once again, pressure on Vanderloop Aaron. Another deflected pass. Braden Jones, who wears number 99. He's 6'4", 255 pounds, and a junior.
And see, Mount Carmel's in their four-man front right now, so really tough to run against a stout front four like Mount Carmel has. If I'm Batavia, I would have liked to have seen maybe a run play in one of those first two after you got Whitwell downhill to get you down there. But now you got to think about putting the ball in the air if you're Batavia.
And it will be Mount Carmel that will take the timeout with 5:34 to play in the first quarter. So Batavia on the move. Jordan Lynch will drop a defense to defend his end zone. 14-0 lead for Mount Carmel.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Said how familiar these two programs are with each other. They're not too far apart in the state. Of course, coming up in the Chicago area, first of all, for Mount Carmel, right there in the middle of the city of Chicago, a very familiar trip, whether they've gone to Hancock Stadium, to Memorial Stadium, University of Illinois, or Husky Stadium up in DeKalb in the last several years. And for Batavia, they will come from the western suburbs. Their road to normal looks like that, and the road to normal is brought to you by the Illinois State Police. Integrity, service, and pride. So the timeout called there. You had mentioned earlier there was a little bit of confusion on a 2-3 plays earlier, but interesting timing on that timeout by the Caravan.
You know, Batavia came out on 3rd and goal from the 9 with 2 tight ends and then 2 more backs in the backfield. It's the exact same formation they've got right now.
Isaiah Brown is split wide to the left side, drawing single coverage from Tavares Harrington. They're going to throw his way. Brown, Harrington battling with a flag down and another one. What a great matchup that is with Harrington, the sophomore, and Isaiah Brown, the senior. And here is our call from Steve Walliser.
Pass interference, defense number 2. At the distance to the goal line.
Well, they tossed it up to Brown and hoping for the catch. This is the second best thing they could get out of this.
Yeah, they had all those guys on the right-hand side just so that they could ISO Brown over there. And, yeah, you see clearly trying to create separation and getting held by both hands. A good call by the offense, or excuse me, by the officials.
Half the distance to the goal, 3rd down and 4 with 5.5 to play in the first quarter. Here comes the blitz. The snap will go to Grayson Kelly, and he's going to take it in. Grayson Kelly, we mentioned that he's gotten more work. He's very effective from the Wildcat, and it's good enough for the touchdown to pull Batavia within a score.
Just what Batavia needed. A long drive that results in points. Really nice job here. Watch the blitz, Dave. You're going to see Muha come almost free in the A-gap. And then it's Kelly on the direct snap who's able to run right through that A-gap where Muha might have been for the touchdown.
Peters for the extra point, and he will nail it. Well, if the 14 points that Mount Carmel put on the board was exactly what Batavia did not want, you said, Chris, a 14-play drive is exactly what the Bulldogs would want.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed here. Like I said, really nice job there by Batavia to pick up the blitz. And then good job by Kelly with some vision there to see that lead block, cut under it, and into the end zone. I mean, Batavia, what a drive that they just had. You spot a team like Mount Carmel 14 points before you even touch the football. And for them to come down and respond, it just shows you the character of those kids over there on the Batavia sideline to respond in that way. And this is a whole new ball game now. You can feel the momentum starting to level out a little bit after Mount Carmel had all of it for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game.
How about Batavia? Out of those 14 plays, 3 different players took snaps from center on that drive. The last one, Grayson Kelly, that runs it in to cut the lead in half.
And they were super balanced on that drive, Dave, as well. They had 38 passing yards and 37 rushing yards on that drive.
It is Patricio Marviti kicking the ball off. Spinning out of it is Javi Payne. Look at this! Javi Payne on the race to the end zone. And Mount Carmel will score on the kickoff return. Javier Payne. Talk about an answer. $83-yard kickoff return for Payne.
He gets the embrace from his head coach, Jordan Lynch. You can see the smile on his face. And look at him. The moves, the breakaway speed. I mean, what a dagger for Batavia after that impressive drive that they just put on. Mount Carmel with the quick answer. So quick, they can't even get a football out there for Mount Carmel to kick the extra point.
So Mount Carmel has scored 3 touchdowns. The first 2 came in a span of 32 seconds. This came in a 13-second span after the touchdown for the Bulldogs.
I mean, there's a little bit of disbelief on the sideline there for Mount Carmel. I mean, look at it. I mean, they can't even believe, I think, how this game's gone so far.
What a spin by Javier Payne.
Well, we talked about Batavia needing to win special teams because it's so hard to beat Mount Carmel in all 3 phases of the game, or even 2 phases of the game. So you're going to have to try and beat them on special teams. And right now, Batavia is losing that battle on the 3rd phase of this football game.
So we have played less than 7 minutes in this game, and we already have 4 touchdowns. This is what it looks like for the Caravan. TD Elliott to Gorman. And then this. Loose ball recovered on the kickoff. Didn't take long this time, Elliott. Same play. Not quite. Elliott makes it happen on his own. Touchdown run of 24 yards for Elliott. And now Javi Payne. Here's the spin. 83 yards later, back to a 2-touchdown lead. And he had Quentin Burrell right there with him as he crossed into the end zone. Well, if you're a Batavia fan, you have to take that deep breath again. Say, okay, we took it the distance last time. 14-play drive. This time, Bergeron will take it inside the 5. Not much room there. He's able to create enough to get to the 25. Well, you said it earlier when there was about 9 minutes left in the first quarter. There's plenty of time. We still have a little over 5 to play here in the first.
Yeah, if you're Batavia, stick to the game plan, right? The game plan clearly works on offense. Okay, they did a really nice job on that first drive. 75 yards. They marched right down the field. 14 plays on that drive. I mean, if you're them, you're fine. Take a deep breath. Continue to work the game plan. You did a nice job of finding the holes in the Mount Carmel zone in the pass game. You ran the ball downhill a little bit. So if you're Batavia, you're going to be okay. There's still plenty of time here. Now, a nice sustained drive like you had on that first drive would really help here on this second one.
Anderson in at quarterback. They'll start on the ground. Let's see where they finally put the ball down here at the bottom of the pile. For Mount Carmel, pulling himself up is Joey Quinn. Number 97, a 6'6", 245-pound junior.
Yeah, they're going to give him about 2 or 3. You're just going to have to try and push the pile against Mount Carmel. If you want to try and sit there with 2 tight ends and run the ball downhill, you're going to have to just try and get 2 or 3 in a cloud of dust if you can. This is that formation that Mount Carmel struggled with the last time. Let's see if Batavia can take advantage.
Vanderloop Aaron back in at quarterback. Throws a nice ball out to the left side with a catch being made by Myslowitz. A couple of grabs from Myslowitz tonight. Sets up the 3rd down and short 3rd and about 3.
Getting into 3rd and manageable if you're Batavia, that's a big thing for them, right? Because then they have the entire playbook open to them. Mount Carmel can't stack the box. They have to respect the pass and the run game here on 3rd and 3.
Now in trouble. And another flag comes out right there with the intended receiver. That's Isaiah Brown. And covering was Javi Payne. But there's another flag back at the line of scrimmage in that area.
Looks like they're both in the area where we could get offsetting, Dave. We're going to see what happens here. Maybe a hold and a PI. Let's take a listen.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Holding, 63 on the offense. Pass interference on the defense. Those penalties offset. 3rd down.
We'll do it all over again.
Yeah, you can see there, it looks like they were holding the big freshman nose tackle, and then it is a clear PI there in the back end by Mount Carmel.
On the slant, Isaiah Brown with it. Brown to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, really good job there by Isaiah Brown.
How about Brown in the playoffs? Through 4 games coming into this game. 25 catches, 396 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And a 179-yard game against Lincoln Way West in the 2nd round.
I mean, he's so clutch. He's the one that they want to get the ball to when they need a big play. And on 3rd and 3 there, they needed a big play, and he got it.
Brown with 4 receptions here. In the opening 12 minutes, we still have 3:47 to play. Nothing there. And Anderson just took the brunt of number 79. Folks, that's a freshman. That is Caleb Tucker. He stands 6'4". He weighs 330 pounds.
And he's 14.
14 years old.
Yeah. I think you forget about that. When you say freshman, it sounds impressive, and then you say, well, he's only 14 years old. And then it's just, man, you're just eyes open when you hear something like that. I mean, what a job he did there to beat 2 blockers and still make the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
He's a nose guard right in the middle of that defensive line. Here to the near side, Berggren. He's wrapped up and dropped. He had some room to go, but Jordan Lynch calls number 41, Matt Muha, the best linebacker in the state.
I mean, he can go from sideline to sideline. We've called his name 7 or 8 times here already in the first quarter, and watch him run this window right there. Really nice job by Muha to sniff out that sweep and make it 3rd and long for Batavia.
Well, the ultimate tribute that Jordan Lynch can pay to Muha is, he said he's the Jack Elliott of the defense. 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. Vanderloop Aaron in. Eyes down the field. He has his man. Grayson Kelly to the 21-yard line. What awareness from Vanderloop Aaron as Kelly created some separation.
And I can't tell you how impressive that is, Dave, for a sophomore to make a play like that in the state championship game on 3rd and 8. Look at him get flushed out of the pocket here as Mount Carmel brings pressure, and instead of trying to run for the 1st down, he keeps his eyes downfield because he knows he can't get to the sticks. So he does a really good job, and you got to give Kelly a ton of credit too. As soon as you see that quarterback roll towards you on a scramble play, you know that you have to then break towards your end zone, and he did exactly that. Vanderluc Aaron does a great job of finding the wide receiver.
33 yards on that completion, takes the ball to the 21-yard line. Batavia's been able to move the ball in each of their 2 possessions. And that's a penalty flag thrown by the back judge, and that will be delay of game. So after that long completion,
where you give the sophomore a ton of credit for making a veteran play, he makes a sophomore play, right?
Yep.
Not looking at the play clock. The coaches are a little bit confused after the long play, but as the quarterback, that's your job. You got to look at the play clock. You got to know when that thing's winding down. So just a sophomore mistake there for the quarterback.
Michael Vanderluc Aaron, the son of Brian Vanderluc Aaron, a quarterback for Marion Catholic, the state champs in 1993. His dad, Brian, was a starting quarterback at the University of St. Francis in the mid-90s. Nothing to the left. Vanderluc Aaron looking for Berggren in the end zone, and he pulls it in. 26 yards on that completion.
I mean, the sophomore does it again. Sandwiched between the delay of game, 2 incredible throws by Vanderluc Aaron. He keeps the play alive. Almost an identical play to the 33-yard completion that got them into the red zone. Look at the sophomore just drop an absolute dime into the back of the end zone. Batavia still very much in this football game. 5 scores, Dave, and we're not even through the first quarter.
How about it? Peters for the extra point. And we are back to a 7-point game. I don't care whether you're a senior, a sophomore. Those 2 throws by Vanderluc Aaron were amazing. In fact, Dennis Perron says he brings a specialness to the game.
It really does. I mean, you can see there the talent that he has. I mean, he's got all the tools. And it's not just the raw arm talent, but to be able to extend plays with your legs, that's what makes a quarterback so dangerous. We're seeing it on the other side with the best player in the state that everybody's calling him, Jack Elliott, right? Everybody's saying he's the best player in the state, and it's because he can do things like that. So when you have a quarterback that the defense has to defend sideline to sideline, whether that be on design runs or broken plays, those are the kinds of guys that are special. And it's not just guys that can run for a first down like that, but when he can let the ball go and throw with that kind of accuracy on the run, that's really, really tough to stop.
How about this time of possession? We still have 1:21 to play in the first quarter, but Batavia has had the ball for 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Mount Carmel, 2:29. Of course, explosive plays from Mount Carmel. The Bulldogs 4 of 4 throwing on that possession. Michael Vanderluc Aaron doing the job. Vanderluc Aaron 7 of 10 already for 104 yards and a touchdown.
Well, where Batavia has to improve is obviously on the special teams phase. So this is a huge play right here.
We'll kick it away from Payne. Burrell has it at the 13. Looking for a block. He'll try to cut it up. Nothing doing as Batavia special teams will keep the Caravan inside the 20. By far the toughest field position of the day for Mount Carmel. You talk about toughness. That's what Nicole Sedevy has. Let's go down to her on the sidelines.
Thank you, guys. Well, usually when you have 2 quarterbacks, you might hear the word quarterback controversy, but that is not the case here for the Bulldogs between Bodie Anderson and Michael Vanderluc Aaron. You guys, these 2 are great friends, actually, and Coach Byron told me that they don't typically pull kids up unless it's evident, but this year, Vanderluc Aaron would play part of the game for a sophomore game, and he would be available for varsity if need be. By now, the end of the season, he's here full varsity, and he is showing up and showing out in this state championship game, guys. Coach says they're very lucky for have both of them.
And on the other side, the quarterback, Jordan Lynch, on the deflection, nearly intercepted. It was deflected by Alan McCoy, and the closest man to the ball was Josh Cayley along with Chase Osborne.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again. Elliott trying to make his own play outside of the pocket off schedule, and I don't even know if that was deflected or if that just went off of the face mask of McCoy. It might have just gone straight off his face mask, and Mount Carmel lucky that Batavia wasn't there a second earlier to pick that football off.
Cayley was on the defense. And I believe the right side, I think the two ends on the right side may have taken a half a step early. And now one flag thrown for maybe illegal procedure, another one thrown well late.
Yeah, that one's going to be maybe another unsportsmanlike. I don't know if it's going to go against Mount Carmel, but they've already been flagged once for some activity after the play. Let's see what this one's about. But I think you're right, Dave. I think the whole right side of the line moved early on that
There's 3 fouls
snap.
on the play. First, dead ball, false start, offense, number 80. After the play, dead ball, personal foul on the defense, and a personal foul on the offense. Those offset.
3 penalties on one play. That's the second time we've had offsetting penalties. Let's take a look if we can see where a little bit of a mix-up there.
Some pushing and shoving there. Yep, you see that. Well after the whistle. Mount Carmel's a little bit out of rhythm right now. You can definitely tell that Batavia has stolen some momentum from them. I mean, aside from that one big play on the kickoff return, they really haven't touched the ball very much over the last, 10 minutes, you said, Dave?
Yep. 2nd and 15, Elliott near the goal line. He'll fling it out, Dan. Great coverage on the play. Because of Matthew Hansen's work, Cooper Lehman unable to haul it in.
Really strong throw there by Elliott. Throw across his body and across the field. As you see here, he sets his feet as he's getting hit. Lehman has his hands on it, just has to come up with that football. And you can see there he's upset with himself. He knows that that's a ball that he should catch. He has all season.
Coming up on the final minute of the first quarter, and a 3rd down and long for Mount Carmel. Elliott rifles it over the middle. Misfires once again. Good coverage on the play. Josh Cayley is there once again. How about Cayley? He tore his posterior cruciate ligament before the season. He was going to have surgery, and he was going to miss the entire year. But 5 days before the surgery, he said, I'm going to check with the doctors because I'm feeling better. The doctor said, okay. So they made a special brace. He started week 8. And he has a newer brace even now, and maybe surgery after the season. But he was a coach while he was out. He's obviously a leader and a key cog in this defense.
Yeah, really nice job on that drive by him. A couple of good pass deflections there by him, and it's going to force the Mount Carmel punt.
First punt of the game. It comes off the foot of Elliott. He averages 35.7 yards per kick. Batavia's going to get this ball in pretty nice field position, the 47-yard line, and their fans on the far side of the field and players are loving it. 41 yards on that kick.
Elliott over with his offensive coaches on the Mount Carmel side wondering what happened on that last drive. You don't see the Caravan go 3 and out very often. That's a really, really nice response by Batavia on that defensive drive.
Batavia looking to roll as they will spread the field. Stepping up in the pocket, he'll never get through it. Once again, number 99, Braden Jones in the middle of that.
Got a flag on the play. Neither of the receivers on the top of the screen for Batavia were set when that ball was snapped.
Of course, that will be declined with the loss of yardage on that sack. Significant loss. Back to the 47-yard line.
Batavia is going to go empty backfield with their big tight end, Mabs, in the game.
Mice Lewis, his 3rd grab in this opening quarter.
It was that same quads formation they've gone to a couple of different times in this game. And usually when 5's in the game, they like to run the ball behind him. As you see, he's going to come out now for Batavia as they'll make a couple of changes. But when you see him in the game, usually they like to run the ball. So maybe that's a little bit of a break in tendency for Batavia. They want to try and confuse Mount Carmel, but a really nice job on the defense there for the Caravan.
Looking for 14 yards on third down. Flag goes down, a throw over the middle, through the hands of Berggren at about the 33-yard line. Once again, Vanderloop Aaron having to squirt out to the right side.
Pass intended for Jake Meisel.
Offense number 71. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Will decline that penalty, and Batavia, for the first time in this game, will punt with 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. We've had 5 touchdowns in this game. And we have played a little less than an hour. Talk about a long first quarter.
It's been a long day so far.
Yeah,
we came on an hour late. I think if you're here for the 8A game, you're probably tuning in right now hoping this game was in the third quarter.
Burrell is deep. He waves everybody away from this punt. And the Caravan will get it. With 18 seconds to play in the first quarter, this is game 3 of our Saturday version of the State Football Championships. Let's take a look back at some of the earlier results today. A thriller in 5A, Nazareth Academy knocking off Joliet Catholic Academy as the Hilltoppers score. Very late in the ball game, went for 2, could not convert. Nazareth Academy wins its 3rd straight. East St. Louis had to pull away from a very pesky Geneva squad for that 48-28 win. The Flyers once again win another state title, and you see our score here at 21-14 still in the first period. Elliott on the ground to Taylor. Taylor makes a nice move. Powers his way forward. Good enough for a first down to the 35.
Really good downhill run there by Taylor. He does a really nice job of finding the hole, and he has been a real weapon since he moved from tight end to running back this year. A definite plus for this Mount Carmel team to add him to that backfield with Elliott.
Well, this may have been a long first quarter, but wasn't it fun? 21-14, 5 touchdowns in the first 12 minutes. Let's go to the second.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate. Go ahead.
Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you?
Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing?
Yes, all 3. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products.
Really?
That's right. Aetna also has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium.
Oh, I like that.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-AETNA-23 to find an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan that meets your unique needs.
Looks like we all made it. But now what?
We lost everything. What are we going to do with no fresh water?
No food.
What are we gonna do with no social media?
Kids aren't the only ones drowning in social media, but teens are definitely the most attached to their phones, which is not all good. Kids who spend too much time texting and posting are more likely to feel isolated and depressed. No one is saying throw your phone away, but once in a while, try actually calling somebody. Talking is even more social than social media. For clues on how to clear your head and brighten your outlook, try visiting one more site, yourlifeyourvoice.org.
Still no service.
It's that wonderful time of the year when the spirit of giving shines brightly in Central Illinois. Join us for the WCI3 Toy Drive, benefiting Toys for Tots on Thursday, December 5th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Share your holiday spirit by donating new and unwrapped toys at our back lot or our Danville drop-off site. We'll also be accepting cash donations to help spread even more cheer. The WCIA3 Toy Drive, December 5th. Together, we can make a difference this holiday season.
Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
15 state championships for the Mount Carmel Caravan, ties them with Joliet Catholic Academy for the most in IHSA football history. The last 2 of those 15 coming in the last 2 years. Those uniforms look familiar? That's right. 2022 was Mount Carmel and Batavia, the Caravan, claiming that state championship over the Bulldogs by that 44-20 score. And right back here on this field last year, Downers Grove North, the opponent. You see Daniel Taylor, he'll go in, and with that, Mount Carmel goes back-to-back, this time 35-10 over the Trojans from Downers Grove North. A leg up here after the first 12 minutes, 21-14, some big plays, taking advantage of turnovers. And on the other side, Batavia grinding it out. And that's what makes this one fun, Chris.
Yeah, it's 2 contrasting styles in the first quarter, right? And Mount Carmel scoring on big, explosive plays, and Batavia, just taking all of the air out of Mount Carmel on their 2 long drives.
First down to start the period. Not much on first down. Taylor is driven back. So Daniel Taylor, he said it was great to have them move to running back. He's played tight end, running back, quarterback, defensive end, safety, and wide receiver through his football years. And as he says, I feel like I can play anywhere.
Well, I'd say a pedigree like that, he's right. To be able to play all those positions, and you can't fit all of those on the roster card, but he has certainly settled into his position as a running back on this team here this season.
And you just saw his hard running style. I love this quote from Jack Elliott. He says, no one wants to tackle Daniel Taylor 20 times a game. No gain on the first one. Elliott looking to create with the flag down. He'll throw deep downfield. Lehman is there. He'll make the catch near the 20-yard line. Great throw, great catch, and also great coverage. Josh Cayley on the coverage. Cooper Lehman hauls it in. Well, let's check the flag. The players are kind of milling about down the field. This may be going against Batavia.
Holding. Defense.
It will be defensive holding.
Penalties decline. First down.
Against the Bulldogs, and it will be a first down in the red zone.
Well, a really good play here by Elliott to get outside the pocket. Batavia brings double-edge pressure off of his right side. Taylor, his tailback, is able to pick up the first one, but a really nice job by Elliott to keep his eyes downfield.
Elliott to Lehman for 46 yards. Sets it up at the 19. Lehman motion. Elliott to keep it right up the middle. Bangs forward. Gets a couple. A little spinning move actually brought him down.
Very similar quarterback counter that they ran on the first drive for a big first down to keep that drive alive. On that one, though, Elliott runs into a couple of his own offensive linemen and gets tripped up to make it second and long. They like to run quarterback draw out of this empty look. Let's see if they go with another quarterback run by Elliott here on this play.
He'll throw to the end zone. And incomplete. The catch was made. And out of the end zone was Alan McCoy.
And it's incredible coverage there by Collada, the DB for Batavia, clearly out of bounds on the white. But a really, really nice play and an incredible catch there.
Jack Elliott's thrown for 91 yards and a touchdown, and this was just, you want to be in the red, and it was in the white for McCoy.
Mount Carmel getting to the line a little bit late here, under 8 seconds now on the play clock. Let's see if Coach Lynch decides to use a timeout.
They're down to 3-2. They get the snap off. Elliott needs 8 yards. To the end zone. And incomplete, knocked away. Once again, he was looking for Cooper Lehman. 3 Batavia jerseys right there on top of him.
Yeah, and Osborne's the one that ends up breaking that play up. Osborne was the player to watch for us for Batavia tonight. when we talked to Coach Piron earlier in the week, he said they were going to put Osborne everywhere.
Decline. The penalties decline. The penalties decline. Third down.
There's a penalty on Mount Carmel that Batavia will decline to bring up a fourth down.
Yeah, I didn't even see the flag on the field. And it's going to be an illegal shift that was declined, so it's going to be fourth down. Mount Carmel does not have their field goal unit on the field. Looks like they're going to go for this one.
Nico Mullen is their kicker, but Caravan will go for it. Fourth down and 8. Got the snap off with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, I think it was the same thing that happened earlier in this drive, Dave. I don't think their center is hearing the cadence from Elliott.
Center is Declan Gill.
False start. Offense.
That's the second time that most of the offense has moved and the ball has been just about a half a second late. And you can see Elliott right there talking to his offensive line, pleading with them to listen to the cadence, because now we're talking about 4th and 12 or 13. Let's see if they go with the same formation. They had Cooper Lehman solo in the slot there. No, they're going to split him out. He's at the very top of your screen. He is still one-on-one. Let's see if they go that way. Here comes pressure off the edge, too.
Elliott will step up into that pressure. Flips it. Man falls down. Touchdown. Jake Feller slips and falls, and Cooper Lehman hauls it in. Lehman, the touchdown reception on 4th down.
You saw the pressure coming, and Lehman was one-on-one with a linebacker. That small motion there by him makes the defensive back and the linebacker switch responsibilities, because they were playing man coverage at the top there was Batavia. And so that little motion means that Lehman, their best, most athletic wide receiver, is on a linebacker, and that's the matchup you want if you're Mount Carmel. Elliott does a great job to avoid the pressure, and he finds his top target to, again, make it a 2-score game.
7 plays, 72 yards, 222 is all it took. And here's Lehman, takes advantage and tiptoes in for that 2-touchdown lead.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Three of the 4 Mount Carmel touchdowns have come off the arm and the legs of Jack Elliott. This will be his final high school football game, and he will head to Vanderbilt University to continue. There you see his numbers, 5 of 12 for 113 yards. Also rushed for 40. That's pretty good work here with just 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. And there he is. Jack Elliott, the commitment to Vanderbilt. You know, he was much like his head coach, Jordan Lynch. Jordan Lynch was not highly recruited coming out of high school. Then all of a sudden, Elliott has just kept going and going and going. And then the relationship with a very key member of this program for Vanderbilt and for Mount Carmel, that's Jerry Kill.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Lynch, he reminded us that Jerry Kill is on that Vanderbilt staff. He's a special assistant, I believe is his title, maybe an offensive analyst on that Vanderbilt staff for Clark Lee. And Jerry Kill is who Jordan Lynch played for at Northern Illinois. So someone that Coach Lynch was very comfortable with and knew that Elliott would be in good hands down in Nashville with Jerry Kill and that Vanderbilt staff.
Isaiah Brown will take that kickoff and run out of bounds. You mentioned Jerry Kill and the tight bond they had. There's Jordan Lynch. Of course, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist at Northern Illinois. Very similar between Elliott and Lynch. And there's Jerry Kill. Great career all over the country at various universities. The head coach of the Huskies at that stage, and the two of them together. Jordan Lynch has not aged a bit.
This game might age him a little bit if his defense gives up another 10-play drive like they have on the first couple for Batavia.
Well, the Bulldogs will look to answer once again. Kelly will take it out of the Wildcat. He'll get about 6 yards on that first down carry. Grayson Kelly with a touchdown run earlier in this game. Kelly will leave. Vanderbilt Aaron comes into the game. Anderson was also in the game at that stage. So again, as we mentioned earlier, the opening drive for Batavia, 3 different players took snaps from center. This time it's Vanderbilt Aaron in there. Quick handoff. Room up the middle. Whitwell with it. Ankle tackle down just as he crosses the 45-yard line. Nathan Whitwell with a burst through the middle of that line.
That's a really great cut by Whitwell in the hole to avoid being tackled for about a 2-yard gain here. Nice jump cut there. Follows his blocks. Batavia has had their most success running inside the tackles when they've gone 4 or 5 wide. You see they're in the same formation here. We haven't seen Vanderbilt Aaron run the ball very much, but that's when Batavia has found success.
Following the 20-yard gain by Whitwell. More positive yardage. Ball over the middle to Isaiah Brown. Batavia has not really been stopped. They did have a punt. Each team has had a punt here tonight. But the Bulldogs have stayed the course. 11 yards on a first down pass.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Coach Piron continues to rotate these quarterbacks, because Vanderbilt Aaron seems to be doing a really nice job of commanding this entire offense for Batavia.
That's the 10th first down for the Bulldogs. Vanderbilt Aaron, a quick hit. That ball comes out of Vanderbilt Aaron's hands very quickly. And once again, looks for Isaiah Brown and finds him.
And that Mount Carmel defense just swarms Brown on that catch. This is when Mount Carmel's defense is at their best. They're in that 3-man front, right? And they've got that big freshman in the middle who can eat up blocks. Tucker. They've got Jones on the outside. So when they can drop 8 and just get pressure with those 3, that's when they are at their best.
The inside handoff, Whitwell. And that middle is clogged up. Penalty flag tossed again.
It's another one on Mount Carmel after the play.
Dead ball. Personal foul. 97 to the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Would have been no gain. Instead, it's 15 going to the north.
Look at Coach Lynch just throwing his hands up in the air saying, come on, Joey Quinn. Just can't do that. Mount Carmel has struggled a little bit with discipline so far tonight. They're going to have to keep their heads here. This is still a very tight ball game. Only 2 scores halfway through the second quarter. But on that play, you saw there how tough Mount Carmel can be in just this 3-man front.
Chased right. Nothing there. Vanderbilt Aaron just that little flip out of bounds. Stops the clock. 7:26 to play in the second quarter. Batavia scored on 2 of their previous 3 drives. Mount Carmel scoring on 3 of their 4 possessions. Second and 10 now. 3 right, 2 left.
Now Carmel's going man-to-man here.
The quick slant once again. Heislowitz, the catch near the 10-yard line.
Batavia is going to keep going 5 wide, I think, in these passing situations because they're getting the matchups that they want against the Mount Carmel secondary. They're getting some of their best wide receivers on inside slot, corners, or safeties. And those Batavia wideouts, they're pretty quick. And so I think they have found a couple of matchups that they like, and they're going to try and keep taking advantage of it.
First down just outside the 10. There's another quick completion inside the 5-yard line. Spreading the ball around. Brett Bergeron gets it that time.
Soft coverage there by Harrington inside the 10-yard line. But, man, the way that he closes just as a sophomore, he is special. He's going to be a really, really high-level recruit a couple of years from now here at Mount Carmel because for him to give so much cushion inside the 10 and then close that quickly to make that tackle at the 4-yard line, man, that's impressive. You don't see that kind of closing speed from sophomores out on the edge.
A little bit different look in the backfield. Whitwell is in the tail. He gets it. Stretching it out, and he's going to maybe be lucky to get the line of scrimmage. I don't think he did. I think he lost a yard.
And I just talked on that last play about that closing speed from Mount Carmel's secondary. They are so good at running you sideline to sideline. You can't bounce those kinds of plays like that outside if you are Batavia. You don't have any help from wide receivers blocking outside on the edge. So as soon as you bounce that ball, you know there's 3 or 4 Caravan players coming to make the play.
10th play of the drive. Vanderloop to the right side. Has Gavin Pecor there. Gavin Pecor, defensive end, 6'3", 250, makes the catch.
He stopped a half a yard shy of the goal line, but Dave, I think that they were going to be able to get a first down just inside the 1. So this might give them a fresh set of downs. Yeah, he is down just shy. Good call by the officials, but this is going to give them a first down. That's about as close as you could have gotten to a touchdown without getting in, and they're going to get a fresh 4 here inside the 1.
Whitwell pushes forward, and Batavia will score again. Whitwell officially a 1-yard touchdown run, maybe more like a foot.
They got a fresh 4, and they only needed 1 play. Really nice job there, and that's what you have to do if you're Whitwell. When you get into that full house formation, you can't bounce the ball outside. You got to put your pads over your toes, and you got to trust those linemen to get you the foot that you need. He does it there. Batavia's back on the board, and we're almost at a 1-score game again.
Caleb Peters will look to see if he can do just that. He's knocked home his first 2 extra points. Peters, a little chip shot, and there you are. 28-21, a shootout here in 7A.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Seven touchdowns in this game, and we still have 5:14 to play. How impressive, though, has Batavia been in getting their 3 scores. Right there is what they've done. Only 1 point of those 4 possessions. Only 1 punt of those 4 possessions.
And look at the sustained drives. 14, 7, and 11 plays. 80 yards, 75 yards, 80 yards. I mean, not something that you see a Mount Carmel team give up very often, are long drives like that. And Batavia, for as bad as the first 3.5 minutes of this game went, has responded tremendously. And this is a whole new ball game with 5 minutes to go before halftime. Mount Carmel and Jack Elliott have played tremendously on the offensive side. You can't take anything away from how well Mount Carmel has played. Their special teams have been tremendous. Their offense has been outstanding. Their defense needs to come up with a couple of big stops here.
That was an 11-play drive where 6 different players had a touch on that drive for the Bulldogs. Short little kick. Remember, Javi Payne took a kickoff 83 yards for a touchdown. That return by Madden Wilson. And the Caravan will have it. Plenty of time remaining here in the first half. Well, Mount Carmel scored their first 2 times they touched the ball. Second one took advantage of a muffed kickoff. So you see a short drive of just 19 yards, but a 70-yarder. 1 punt, a 77-yarder. You know, and not good. Defenses have been okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, it shows me that these offenses are firing on all cylinders. I mean, both of them on both sides of the ball. Give credit to these kids. They came ready to play tonight.
Play action from Elliott. He's being chased by Malachi Smith. Elliott, though, look at him fly as he's tripped up just on the far side at about the 40-yard line. Malachi Smith, a 6', 285-pound nose guard, chasing Elliott out of the pocket.
He's going to have just enough to get the first down as we get close to 4 minutes to go here in the half. Really nice job by Elliott to extend the play, keep it alive, get the first down. But you're starting to talk about that middle 8 minutes here in a game, Dave. That last 4 before halftime, that first 4 of the second half. And don't forget, Batavia is going to get the ball to start the second half, so a very big drive here for Mount Carmel.
Elliott's going to go deep, looking for the freshman. Lynch, he's got him. Make that Marshawn Thornton the freshman. All the way down to the 18-yard line. Thornton called up on October 4th, and he makes a big grab here in a championship game for 41 yards.
This freshman is special for Mount Carmel. They're going to go tempo here and try and get back to the line pretty quick. But this is an unbelievable play by Thornton down the sideline. Elliott saw one-on-one coverage. That's all he needed. He's going one-on-one again.
To the end zone and is knocked away. Nicely done. That time by Andrew Culata for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and that was Burrell he was looking for on that one. So now Mount Carmel just trying to exploit those one-on-one matchups. It was Lehman who was one-on-one on that last touchdown down here in the south end zone on 4th and 12 for Mount Carmel. And now you can see that the Caravan are just picking their spots where they want to try and take advantage of those mismatches that they have. And when you talk about a kid like Thornton who can create mismatches as a freshman, I mean, man, he's got breakaway speed. He can go up and get the football. He's a really special talent for the Caravan.
Elliott will come to the near side. Wilson spins, takes a hit, but he's inside the 10-yard line. Brought down by Drew DiBiase, but for the Caravan, they will have it at the 7.
Good misdirection by Mount Carmel there, making it 1st and goal for Mount Carmel. They've picked up the tempo a little bit on this drive, which I think helps Mount Carmel. When they play with this tempo and they can control the pace of the game, they're a really, really tough offense to stop. They've got so many weapons, and you can see here just on this drive that they've already connected with Thornton, who we hadn't seen yet in this game. A couple of other guys who are getting touches now, Wilson being one of them, that we hadn't seen in the first quarter and a half.
Mount Carmel takes a timeout. A little confusion on the substitutions. That play clock was down to 1 second. They tried to rush Taylor in there late, so the Caravan will use a timeout. That will be their second of this half. They have 1 remaining. Somewhere along the way, you have to win some tight ball games in the playoffs. And for Batavia, they had to do it twice, coming from behind against Lincoln Way West. This, however, was in the semifinals. Final play offensively for Batavia came in 31 seconds. The completion gives the Bulldogs the come-from-behind win, 21-15. It was Vanderloop Guerin to Isaiah Brown, the corner of the end zone, and that puts Batavia into the state championship ball game.
Kind of feels like this Batavia team is one of those teams of destiny that you kind of hear about, right? A couple of close games in the second round and the semifinals against those Lincoln Way programs, and they're here again with another chance to take on Mount Carmel. We talked a little bit about the history between these two programs. Mount Carmel has had Batavia's number over the last 4 years. This is their 5th meeting in the playoffs in 5 consecutive years, and this one has lived up to the billing so far.
First and goal. Caravan looking to go back up by 2 touchdowns here. Elliott forced out. Now he'll throw. Low. And got it. Touchdown. How about Quentin Burrell? He got down there, got his hands underneath it, and he'll pick up the touchdown pass from Jack Elliott.
What a throw, what a catch. Really nice job here by Burrell to change direction on that play. Looked like he was going with the fade, and then he sees Elliott get flushed out of the pocket. He knows he has to go flat. Elliott does a nice job of putting the ball where only his wide receiver can get to it, and he comes down with a really tough catch.
There was not much more that Andrew Collada could have done as Caleb Peters, or make that Nico Mullen, knocks home the next 5th touchdown of the game right here by Mount Carmel.
And that is a catch. What a job by our camera crew. Nice job to get that one there. Unbelievable play by Elliott and Burrell to again go up 2 scores.
Well, the question is, with the score 35-21 and every possession except 2, 1 on each side, to result in a touchdown, is this too much time here? Batavia a chance to move down the field with 3:50 to play. There's smiles on that Mount Carmel sideline, however.
Every single one of Batavia's drives has been more than 3 minutes and 50 seconds, so they are going to have to pick up the tempo. They've got all 3 timeouts left, but this is a crucial drive for Batavia because, as I mentioned, they get the ball to start the second half. So if they can cut into this lead, even with a field goal, you got to think that the Bulldogs will have some momentum going into halftime, knowing they get the ball to start the third quarter.
Big play in that drive was the 41-yard catch by the freshman Marshawn Thornton off the right arm of Jack Elliott. Elliott 8 of 16 for 172 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half. Come to 13, a little bobble there by Isaiah Brown. Not much room for him to work with. Again, we remind you of the weather conditions that we've experienced all weekend. I know many of you have been nice and cozy inside following these ball games. Right now here in Normal, Illinois, 22 degrees, feels like 13, and a slight wind blowing from the near side of the field to the far side of the field, about 9 miles per hour. One of the coldest weekends we've had for state finals, definitely in several years. A little handoff in the middle, and there is that interior line you talk about, Chris. There's just nothing doing this. Whitwell is just flipped out of that pile.
Yeah, you can't run into Caleb Tucker and Braden Jones too many more times. I mean, those guys, as the game goes on, seems like they get stronger and stronger. And again, I mentioned the 3-man front versus the 4-man front for Mount Carmel. This is where they're comfortable. If they can stay in that 3-man front and protect the run and stay with that 5-man box, they're going to find a lot of success on defense.
Vanderloop Guerin was looking short. Now he'll look long. Berggren on the move. Tight coverage, however, and a flag. Maybe too tight from Javi Payne. Well thrown ball by Vanderloop Guerin. Payne, who got an 83-yard kickoff return. Maybe flagged there.
Three in the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And another 15-yard penalty sets it up pretty nicely here for Batavia with 3:06 to play.
A little bit of contact there, but not sure if it's incidental or not. Payne in really good position on that play.
Now all the way out to the 35-yard line. Once again, Whitwell runs into Braden Jones. Tough sledding for Nathan Whitwell.
If I was Batavia, I'd start to think about running the ball the other way because, I mean, Braden Jones is just so tough to handle inside. And he's even tougher when you have him on an island against your tackle because we have to keep talking about that freshman nose guard who's eating up 2 or 3 blocks by the guards. It makes those tackles one-on-one.
Vanderlook here in the pump. The throw down the right sideline. Ball up for grabs, incomplete.
Vanderlook Aaron stood in the pocket and took a shot on that play. Really nice job by the sophomore to stay in there and try and give his wide receiver a chance at that one-on-one ball. Let's take a look at it here. He pumps, and Jones gets off his block and has a free run right at the quarterback. He does a nice job there. And really good pass coverage as well by Mount Carmel.
Jackson Barron's on the coverage. Jake Meislowitz. Here comes a blitz from Muha. Vanderlook Aaron finds a man across midfield. Mount Carmel sideline not happy because Grayson Kelly was able to come open. 7th third down conversion in the first half for the Batavia Bulldogs.
Great job by Vanderlook Aaron to keep that one alive as well as Batavia starts to pick the tempo up. They're 5 wide again.
Again, right over the middle. Good to the 40-yard line. Meislowitz been very busy here today for Batavia. His 4th catch of the day, checked in with 18 receptions coming into this game.
And that's the same route he ran on the 3rd down play. I think they were trying to get it to him on that one as well. And that's maybe the 3rd time that he has completed that inside slant to his favorite wide receiver on this drive.
Pressure coming. Again, Vanderlook Aaron avoids it. He's got some room. Vanderlook Aaron will scoot out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Stops the clock with 1:37. Batavia has all 3 timeouts remaining.
And they've done a really nice job of managing the clock on this drive. 3 timeouts, 1:37. You got the ball at the 30-yard line of Mount Carmel. You can do just about anything you want here. Still have the inside run as an option. You can complete a ball over the middle and take a timeout if you need to. So it's not like Mount Carmel can just sit in a prevent defense at this point, because Batavia has done a really nice job to get into position here to score right before halftime.
On first down, Vanderlook Aaron to the right side, throwing on the run. Pass is incomplete, but a penalty flag is down right at the line of scrimmage.
Holding.
And our signal.
Number 71 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Still first down.
Is holding. You know, and you figured that Ryan Myers may have been the culprit because that play was going on. As everything is flowing to the right side, Myers was just kind of sitting down on the field saying, okay, looks like it might be me.
And he's actually trying to pick up the blitzing linebacker there. Does a good job of passing off the defensive end. But then when the blitz comes, he has to try and pick that up, and he's just not quick enough.
Nothing up the middle. And the wise decision is to throw it out of bounds. Well, as we sit here with 1:24 to play in the first half and a 35-21 lead for Mount Carmel. How about this for total yardage? Mount Carmel, 251 yards of total offense. Batavia, 252.
I mean, just incredible numbers. I mean, the way that these offenses have played tonight, it's been something really, really special to see. You always, as a coach, hope that your team plays their best game. Looks like Batavia is going to have to take a timeout. They're not getting out of the huddle fast enough, yeah. But you always, as a coach, Dave, want your team to play their best game on the last weekend of the season. And we've seen some teams so far this weekend that have done exactly that. We've seen some others that have not played their best game. But I think right now, if you ask both of these teams going into the break, they would both say that they're playing really, really well. I'm sure they want to clean the defensive side up, but you can't ask for much more than what both of these coaches have gotten out of their student athletes on the offensive side of the ball.
So Michael Vanderloop here on the football field. We'll take a little break, and then he'll head to the baseball diamond. Vanderloop here, a couple of multi-sport athletes. And now, take care of business on the field with that right arm of his. So a couple of timeouts to work with here, and minute 24 to play in the first half. Caravan coming from the corner. Vanderloop can room up the middle. He decides to throw, and the catch is made. Oh, my goodness, Jake Meislowitz. What a throw, what a catch. But another penalty flag down.
He was really close to the line of scrimmage. Is that what they're going to say, was that he was in front of the line of scrimmage?
I'm not going to be surprised if that's what we hear.
Illegal forward pass. Number 8 of the offense. High grab penalty for the spot. Loss of down.
Well, that one hurts in a couple ways. A great catch from Meislowitz, but Vanderloop did have some room to run. And this backs it all the way out to the 43-yard line.
And it's also a loss of down. So the ball's at the 40-yard line. Let's see him step up here. Yeah, it's close. It looks like most of his body is in front of the line. It's tough to see if the whole body's there or not, as they're back on the line already.
And 3rd and 25. He's able to avoid one, not the other. There's Matt Muha closing. Oh, my goodness, Muha. Wow.
And that's a big sack for Mount Carmel. Matt Muha has been all over the football field here tonight for Mount Carmel. He's their leading tackler. Give him 8 now on the game, including that sack. Mount Carmel's going to use a timeout now because with their high-powered offense and how quickly they can score, they think that if they can get the ball back now on 4th and forever, Batavia is going to have to punt. And Jordan Lynch and Mount Carmel, they're going to have about a minute to get down the field and get this to a 3-score game before halftime.
Okay, so that leads to my question. You come hard after this punt, or do you say, you know, we've got the type of offense, we can go 70 yards in 66 seconds?
Yeah, that's a really good question. If I'm them, I'm trying to set something up. We've been really, really good on special teams so far tonight. You wouldn't want to get too much pressure on this and end up with a silly penalty like a roughing the kicker. So I would say if I'm Mount Carmel, I'm trying to set up some sort of return, get one of my athletes loose. It looks like it's going to be Quentin Burrell who's back deep to return this kick. See if we can't get him a lane to try and get a really good punt return and set up my offense.
Isaiah Brown, his first punt went 34 yards. He averages 30 on the season. He has to pick that up off the ground, and his knee went down. I didn't know whether he was able to keep that off the ground, but his knee goes down at the 30-yard line, and that's where Mount Carmel will take over.
This is going to be just an incredible swing for Mount Carmel in momentum. Batavia had the ball all the way at the Mount Carmel 30-yard line as we take another look. Yeah, it looks like his knee is down when he traps that ball against the ground. The snap was a little low, but Batavia had the ball all the way on Mount Carmel's 30-yard line, Dave, with 1st and 10, a minute 36 to go. And now Mount Carmel, just 30 seconds later, has the ball on Batavia's 30, looking to score and really open this game up.
Elliott chased out of the backfield. Takes a hit. Gets out of bounds. And then, again, you say, well, that's a sack, a loss. But it's a case of where Elliott made the right decision. He did not, he knows where he's at. He did not want to make any decision here that would cost his team possession of the ball.
Yeah, you take a couple yard loss on the sack. Live to fight another day on 2nd down. What I'm more concerned about if I'm Mount Carmel is Jack Elliott has had to move a lot tonight. The pocket has not been clean. They need to shore up some things on the offensive line, give him a little bit more time to look downfield.
He'll throw in the run here. A little bit high, just off the hands of Thornton.
So this is a big 3rd down now if you're Batavia. We've talked a lot about the momentum swings in this game. We've talked about how Batavia is going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you're the Bulldogs, this is a big 3rd down here. You keep Mount Carmel where they're at. They're out of field goal range right now. They get a couple yards, they might get close to field goal range. As you see Jordan Lynch and his quarterbacks and wide receivers in the red hats signaling in the play for Mount Carmel. They have no timeouts, and that play clock's already under 10. They're going to have to hurry up to get this ball off.
Elliott's going to look to the end zone. Burrell is there. Quentin Burrell, the touchdown reception. 33 yards from Lynch. And from Jordan Lynch tonight, that is his 4th touchdown pass of the evening, and it stretches the lead to 41-21.
Looks like Burrell's coming up a little hobbled. But you see a really good job on the skinny post route by Burrell. He just splits the defenders. It was a double post play by Mount Carmel, trying to put that play side safety in conflict. And Elliott does a really nice job to drop that ball into the zone where that safety can't come back and make a play over the top. The corner's a step behind. It's a perfect throw and catch by Mount Carmel, and they have really opened this one up.
42-21, they have doubled it up on the Bulldogs. So special teams have really cost Batavia tonight. What a throw here from Mr. Jack Elliott. And in the first half, that touchdown pass for Elliott, he's already tied the Class 7A record with 4 touchdown passes in a game, and Elliott's done it in the first half. He had 5 touchdown passes in the semifinal win over St. Rita. He got them in a burst. 4 of those 5 for Elliott came in the second quarter. We've had fun here in the first half. A lot going on. And I know a gentleman who is an icon of Illinois high school sports, Taylor Bell, the former prep sports editor at Chicago Sun-Times, home watching this one. Best wishes to Taylor. Well, wow, what a turn of events in these last few minutes of the first half.
Yeah, what an incredible swing here from Mount Carmel to grab all the momentum in this game. I mean, a really nice job by their defense to come up with a huge stop, and the offense just continues to roll.
Little pop-up caught by Chase Osborne. He'll take it out to about the 40. 38 seconds for Batavia to work with. A couple of timeouts as well.
They got a couple of quarterbacks who know how to push the ball down the field. So the question is, do you take this thing into halftime and try to not make any more mistakes here late in this half? Or do you try and utilize those 2 timeouts in the 38 seconds that you do have with some really good field position to try and get a quick score?
Yeah, they start from a 39-yard line. Well, you just have your answer right here, right? They're going deep. Have a man open. Berggren is there, will make the catch. Brett Berggren all the way down to the 24-yard line. And very quickly, the Bulldogs hustling up to the line. As soon as this ball is set, the clock will run. 37 yards on that completion. Vanderloop Aaron to Berggren. Back with it. Now to the end zone. And a little overthrown. Well, your question was answered very quickly on this one, Chris.
Yeah, clearly they like the matchup there with Berggren up against, who is that? Barron's there for Mount Carmel. And they try to go back to him again on the very next play. But Berggren's just gassed after that 37-yard completion. Can't make the play. But a really, really nice job by Batavia to get down into scoring position here late in the half.
Vanderbilt Aaron over the middle, misfires on that one. Intended receiver is Meislowitz. 19 seconds left as the Bulldogs look to pull within 2 touchdowns. We've had 9 touchdowns scored in this first half. Now looking at a 3rd down and 10. Hit as he throws into the end zone, and this one will be picked up. Coming up with it, Javier Payne. So an interception and an 83-yard kickoff return for the senior from Mount Carmel.
What a huge play by Payne to end the half. What a way to respond. I thought they were going to go for Isaiah Brown, but instead on the switch route, they try and go Berggren in the corner of the end zone. And an unbelievable catch on the interception by Payne.
Looking to break one on the ground. Here's Wilson. He gets a block to the outside. And Wilson goes out of bounds. Stops the clock with 5 seconds left here in the half.
I'm not so sure this half is over just yet with the tricks that Mount Carmel pulled on the first couple of drives. Let's see if they choose to hand the ball off again or if they decide to go for one last score here.
They will get it to Thornton. He dances out of bounds and with 1 second left on the clock. Well executed. And now time for one big one. Wilson in the backfield along with Elliott. Rushing 3. Elliott cranks, throws, and a bit too long for Burrell. And a penalty flag comes out with 0 showing on the clock. And that's right down there at the 2-yard line. There's some bumping going on down that area. And our officials will discuss the entire situation here. Steve Walliser will tell us about it.
Pass interference, defense number 23. 15-yard penalty, that's a first down. We'll have one on time down.
So the Caravan may not be done yet here in the first half.
They're going to say it's pass interference. Yeah, you can see he's got that upfield arm. I can't tell who the player is for Mount Carmel, but it was Burrell, the intended wide receiver. Excuse me, for Batavia. I couldn't see who the defender was for Batavia, but for Mount Carmel, it's Burrell. Well, now, when you're inside the 35, you don't necessarily have to be in that Hail Mary formation. You have a couple of other options if you're Mount Carmel. And Batavia knows that now, so they're going to take a timeout to talk about it.
Well, Batavia takes a timeout, and it's interesting because you noticed a long delay as to, okay, we call the penalty, and then nobody's moving or snapping. That's because the ball on that pass interference call, that pass, ended up behind the advertising little tent down there behind the end zone. And one of the Mount Carmel staffers, I saw him sprinting down the sideline. I'm thinking, man, are you ready to get into that locker room that quickly? He finds the ball behind it. He runs out, and as he's running back, that's when Batavia calls a timeout. But that's also when you got, a little chest bump from Jordan Lynch.
My guess would have been that he wanted to get into the locker room, because I can't imagine how cold it is down there on the sideline. We're going to hear from Coach down there and Nicole here in just a second once we get this untimed down. But if I was them, I'd be sprinting to the locker room as well.
Indeed. All right, so a timeout, a free timeout, if you will, with an untimed down here. Ball sitting at the 33-yard line. There's Matt Hull, the defensive coordinator for Batavia. Final play of the half. Elliott, same direction, looking for Thornton into the air and knocked away. Marshawn Thornton stretched out, good coverage for Batavia, and that will close out what was a first half that I don't know how many people saw coming. Mount Carmel leading at 42-21. Their last touchdown coming after the misplay on a snap on a punt, and a previous touchdown from Mount Carmel came after a kickoff was muffed. So the Caravan quickly jumped out to a 14-0 lead. They have a 3-touchdown advantage right here after one half of play.
Just a ton of action so far in this game. And what an incredible job by Mount Carmel to jump out to that 14-0 lead and then maintain it now 42-21 at halftime. Batavia battled back early on. This game was down to a one-score game a couple of different times. But, man, the way Mount Carmel piled it on late. An impressive job by the Caravan in that second quarter.
Let's go to Nicole Sedevy. She's on the field right now, the head coach of the Caravan.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. 4 touchdowns for Jack Elliott, over 200 yards passing. He's doing what you expected him to do. What else can this kid unlock in his final 2 quarters as a Caravan?
Yeah, he's that sums up Jack's career for us. He's a leader. He's a competitor. He's cheering on the defense. He's making adjustments. He's making calls for us. It's having another coach on the field. I'm sure, I'm going to enjoy these next 2 quarters with him because it's going to be the last with him. And it's a special player, and he'll go down as one of the best here.
You guys will start the half on defense. Batavia has been able to sustain some long drives against you for those 21 points. How do you get them off the field quicker?
Yeah, we have to contain our pass lanes. Our containing. We're not getting pressure to the quarterback and putting our DBs on an island. We've got to get a little more pressure and stay in our pass lanes and, close the pocket on the quarterback.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, guys, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Nicole. 42-21. We saw so much transpire in the first half between Mount Carmel and Batavia, along with Kenny McReynolds and Edgy Tim O'Halloran. And I'm Marshall Harrison. All right, where do we start, guys? Because a lot of touchdowns were scored.
We got to catch our breath.
That's fair. That's fair. What do you guys think about the way that Mount Carmel played and the fact that they don't have a big edge in total yards, but scores is a thing?
Well, scores are the thing, and I said in the open that, let's face it, that Elliott is the best player in the state of Illinois. 214 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's already set a Class 7A record for touchdowns in the first half. He's shown why he's the best player.
Don't forget about the rushing touchdown, too.
And a rushing touchdown.
Yeah. Is there a definition for chunk plays? Because it's the first half of this for Mount Carmel. No doubt about it. Batavia, they've moved the ball. They've done some good things, but boy, you just cannot stop those big plays, and it's killing Batavia right now.
And you talk about stopping big plays. First, they got to stop stopping themselves. A couple of turnovers, the turnover margin, a big story. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you the highlights, and there were so many of them, especially when you talk about the special teams. That's all when we come back with halftime. Right now, it is a 42-21 Mount Carmel lead.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Halftime at the 7A state title game where Mount Carmel is trying to pick up their 4th state championship in the last 5 seasons. They are well on their way alongside Kenny McReynolds, Edgy, Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris. And let's show you exactly how this got to be such a high-scoring affair. It started early. Mount Carmel pulling out all the tricks. It's the end around with the flea flicker on top, and wide open is Xander Gorman in the end zone.
Yeah, Gorman's wide open right off the bat. Mount Carmel out of the bag of tricks.
And then more tricks. Looks like the same play, but it's not, because this time Jack Elliott says, I got wheels too.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to take it and score. Why not? So, again, terrific run, terrific read by Jack Elliott.
14-0 at that point. Now it's 21-7. Here comes Batavia. Mike Vander Lugaren, he's got a man. It's Brett Berggren in the back of the end zone. Impressive.
Very impressive the way he's running to his right. He throws that ball off of his back foot.
But a lot of chunk plays for Jack Elliott. Rolling right here, finding Cooper Lehman down the field. A big gain, and there would be more after that.
On the run, rolling right, making that pass. Big-time throw by a big-time quarterback.
And so there you see, this makes it 28-14. They would add a couple of more scores, 42-21 at the break. And this game, it's crazy because 313 in total yardage for Mount Carmel, 264 for Batavia right behind them. But the big thing is the turnovers have been the difference, and also what we saw on special teams, because just when you thought Mount Carmel might be in trouble, Batavia's coming back, you have plays like this. This here is an 84-yard kickoff return from Javier Payne.
And look at the spin move by Payne. He puts 2 guys on the turf with that spin move. Then he's off to the races. How about a little high five right here? Give me 5.
Yeah, that's when you know the play is going
right there.
successful. Edgy.
Give me 5, I'll take 7.
What about the spin move, though?
Right here. See, the spin move?
There goes.
You put him in the spin. You put him in the spin cycle. Everybody goes down, and here he comes down and into your living room.
Give me 5. Give me 5.
Off to the races.
There you go.
Mount Carmel in complete control.
You take that play right there, you add the muff kickoff at the start of the game, and it's just been too much for Batavia to overcome.
Big play, big play, big play. Right. It just continues. You cannot stop the big play from the Caravan.
Well, one thing we know, Mount Carmel gives up 21 points a game in the regular season, so Batavia wanted a shootout. They got what they asked for.
All right, second half coming your way. It's Batavia trying to make up a 21-point deficit here at Hancock Stadium.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate. Go ahead.
Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you? Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing? Yes, all 3. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products. Really? That's right. Aetna also has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium. Oh, I like that.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-AETNA-23 to find an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan that meets your unique needs.
Weather is a priority in our daily lives. WCA3 has your forecast first at the start of every show. We're dedicated to making sure you're prepared for what the conditions could bring. Trust us to predict the weather so you don't have to. Don't let the weather ruin your plans. Join Central Illinois so you're ready for anything.
WCIA3 forecast first at the start of every newscast. Sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
For people who feel limited by the unpredictability of generalized myasthenia gravis, season to season, Ultomiris is continuous symptom control with improvement in activities of daily living and reduced muscle weakness. And Ultomiris is the only long-acting GMG treatment with the freedom of just 6 to 7 infusions per year. For a predictable routine I can count on.
Ultomiris may lower your immune system's ability to fight infections, increasing your chance of serious meningococcal and other infections, which may become life-threatening or fatal. Complete or update meningococcal vaccines at least 2 weeks before you start. If treatment is urgent and you're not vaccinated, you should receive antibiotics with your vaccines. Don't start if you have a meningococcal infection. Infusion reactions may include back, belly, limb, or chest pain, muscle spasms, blood pressure changes, tiredness, shaking chills, bad taste, breathing problems, or face, tongue, or throat swelling. Ultomiris is continuous symptom control. Ask your neurologist about starting Ultomiris.
Deals are only at Ashley.
It's halftime. Mount Carmel up 42-21 on Batavia. We got another game to talk about, though. York taking on Loyola Academy. They're looking to go back-to-back as well.
Yeah, Loyola's going to be very tough. Great defense. What can Bruno Mazzo do against those linebackers of the Ramblers?
Ryan Fitzgerald, he's okay. He's kind of a good quarterback, too. We'll see what he can do in the next game. Maybe try to top what Mr. Elliott's got going on for the rivals, Mount Carmel.
It does seem like the quarterbacks have been showcased throughout this one, right?
A little bit.
All right, we'll see exactly what happens in 8A, but first, we got to get through the rest of the 7A game, a 21-point deficit for Batavia to try to come back from. We'll see just how much bulldog they have in them. Here you see Quentin Burrell, one of his 2 touchdowns in the first half. It's Mount Carmel Batavia coming up with the second half kickoff after this.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Back now with the Menards halftime stats. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. Plenty of improvements need to be made on the Batavia side of the football, but they did move the ball 264 yards of total yardage action compared to 313 from Mount Carmel.
Look, time of possession. Mount Carmel only had the ball 7 minutes.
That's all they needed, Kenny.
They scored 42 points.
Kenny, you score in 3 plays. You're not going to have a lot of time of possession. I'll take the quick scores any day.
If you're Mount Carmel here, you're just trying to run the clock out?
Hey, I'm going to be simple. I'm going to be smart, run the clock out, get my championship trophy, and come back to Chicago.
Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
See, you wanted him to run the ball, but Jack Elliott might have other thoughts. He's already got 4 passing touchdowns.
He can run it, too.
And he also has a rushing touchdown as well, but he's been able to find his guy many, many times. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's Brett Berggren. He's got a touchdown catch of his own off a beautiful pass there. We'll see if they can add to that total, cut into that 21-point lead. Second half kickoff up next.
So much of our day-to-day lives starts with agriculture, and there's an easy way for you to find out how. WCIA3's Ag in the Classroom is your look into everything that leads back to agriculture, like what connects the farm to appliances we use every day.
We eat, we have to wash dishes.
Yep.
She got tired of that. She invented a dishwasher that could do that.
It's a great day to learn about agriculture here in Central Illinois. Join me for Ag in the Classroom.
Monday mornings on The Morning Show on WCIA3, sponsored by United Prairie.
We're dreamers. We're thinkers. We write and tell stories that make a connection with your customers. We understand your brand. We understand your goals because your success is our success. Video production, digital marketing, graphic design. We have the creative team and technology to bring your message to life. Contact 509 Creative. We'll take it from here. Local creative, 509 Creative.
From the Capitol to your living room, Capitol Connection, your source for accurate and balanced Illinois political news.
Investigating what's happening in Springfield the way only Capitol Bureau Chief Cole Henke can.
I'm breaking the stories and asking the tough questions about issues that matter to you.
Unraveling the stories behind the policies and the decisions that impact our state and communities.
I'm holding our lawmakers accountable and keeping you connected.
Capitol Connection, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on WCIA3.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
All right, from Hancock Stadium, you see the score. That's a halftime score, folks. 42-21, Mount Carmel on top of Batavia. Welcome back, Dave Bernhardt, along with Chris Highland. And Chris, we're looking forward to see Jack Elliott once again on the big stage, and boy, he has not disappointed.
He surely hasn't. This will be the last time we get to see this kid on the state championship stage, and man, he has lived up to the billing. One of the best in the state. He has done it with his legs. He has done it with his arm. He is under 100 yards away from breaking the 7A record for passing. I mean, he can make plays off schedule. He can make plays from the pocket. He has relied on tremendous wide receivers like this freshman Thornton on a big play there. And then a really, really good job by some of his other wide receivers to come up with some incredible touchdown catches. I mean, this team, they've got everything. And their defense is starting to play a little bit better after they gave up those early 21 points. And Mount Carmel has opened up a really, really big lead here to start the second half.
Well, Dennis Perron, the head coach, has some things he has to adjust in. We'll find out what they are right now. Let's go down to Nicole Sedevy.
Coach, you have a 21-point deficit to overcome in this second half. Vander Lugarn has gotten a majority of the snaps, and he's playing well. Can we expect to see him taking the snaps again in the second half?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a little bit of both. That's what we've done all year. You know, we've had some opportunities. Could have scored there at the end again. Had some kind of strange things happen with some calls. The one call where they said he was over the line, and it was a really big play right there. We were trying to close the gap down to 7 again, and then and they got that score that was just really kind of tough. So, but kids are battling. We're going to keep fighting, and we'll see where it's at here in a little bit.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks.
Back to you guys. Thanks.
Dennis Piron, always that positive attitude. Always, his point there in terms of the big call was more so the big situation. And you called it perfectly, Chris. With Batavia getting the ball here to start the second half, that particular possession was absolutely huge to try to put more points on the board.
Yeah, he's talking a lot about momentum there. That's what he's talking about. Those big calls happened at very inopportune times for Batavia. As you take a look at the stats there, Batavia was trying to claw their way back into this ball game, and whether it was the pick in the end zone or the call on third down that did bring that successful conversion back, those were huge plays for Batavia. And so the coach knows it. He's got to get his team to rally now. You can see there, they're talking on the sideline. They'll come out ready to play as they get the ball to start the third quarter here. But the question is, how long can you trail Mount Carmel and try and chase points against a team that's this good?
Well, they were chasing from the get-go, right? There was a span of 32 seconds when 2 touchdowns were scored by the Caravan, and Batavia found themselves down 14-0. And let's go back to the offense. Forget about Batavia and, whatever little mistakes they've made. Mount Carmel, when they've had the ball, you saw that just moments ago, 31 plays. Well, 6 of those plays were touchdowns. That's a pretty good percentage when 20% of your plays get into the end zone.
Yeah, and for Batavia, they've ran 49 total plays. They have controlled time of possession here against Mount Carmel in this 7A state title game. 16 minutes and 39 seconds is the time of possession for Batavia. So they have held the ball almost 2-1 to the Caravan here. They're 7 of 10 on third down. They've scored twice in the red zone, and they're still down 21 points to one of the best teams in the state.
Mount Carmel looking to go back to back to back. A three-peat. They've done that a couple of times in their history, and if Mount Carmel hangs on to this, it will be history, because the Caravan will break a tie for most state championships in IHSA history here in your 50th anniversary of the IHSA football championship. It would be the 16th state title, breaking the tie with Joliet Catholic Academy. And then coming up next in 8A, we have York taking on Loyola Academy. And we saw in the first half, late in the first half, the Loyola players, as they're getting ready for their 8A game, many of them are out beyond the north end zone here at Hancock Stadium, supporting their fellow Catholic League opponents, the Mount Carmel Caravan. So it's a case of where you've got a couple of teams here. In fact, we could go 3 in a row as we take a look at the scores from earlier today. Nazareth Academy denies Joliet Catholic Academy as the Roadrunners pick up their 3rd consecutive state championship. East St. Louis in a battle for a while with Geneva before pulling away for that 20-point victory. And right now, Mount Carmel has it doubled up on Batavia and Loyola Academy and York. As we get set for our second half kickoff, Batavia to get the ball first. And an onside kick, and Mount Carmel will recover it. Now, did it go enough before the first touch? That's what we're going to find out. Penalty flag is down. It's on the Batavia side of the 50-yard line.
It sure looked to me like that ball went 10 yards before it was touched. I don't know what the penalty will be here. Let's see as the officials get together and talk about it.
We've got all 5 officials in on this conversation. The penalty flag is on the Batavia side of the 50.
Where are the officials holding the ball right now? That's 11 yards from where the ball was kicked.
Not quite settled yet. This will be very interesting when we find out what this is all about. Interesting way to start the second half of your 7A
the officials
championship
continue to discuss this. Jordan Lynch is not happy. It looks like this is going to go against Mount Carmel.
Illegal block on Mount Carmel. 10-yard penalty for re-kick.
I don't know if I've seen an illegal block on an onside kick.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Let's see. So I'm not sure how that's an illegal block, but the officials seem to have seen enough on that double team there by Mount Carmel to call it a penalty. That's a big break for Batavia. That's one that a lot of coaches and special teams coordinators are going to check the rule book on here after this game, because I'm not sure I've ever seen that one and why that would be called an illegal block in that situation. But a huge play for Batavia, as Mount Carmel had clearly recovered that ball. In the Caravan, we're going to have all the momentum and the ball at the 50-yard line, already up 3 scores. Instead, it's a re-kick. Batavia with a chance here to maintain possession.
Okay, so I've never seen that, but then in our 6A game, I've never seen a delay of game penalty on the opening kickoff. That's what St. Louis committed. They went on to win title. This ball's a live ball till it goes out of bounds. Now, was it touched is the question. And they will say, well, penalty flag is down at the 40-yard line of Batavia. That flag is picked up, thrown to the 30. Wow.
So now,
Chris, my head is spinning here.
I can't keep it all straight, Dave. I don't even think the officials can keep it all straight right now. But this is a crucial point in the game because the officials have to try and get control of this thing here as quickly as they can.
Dead ball. Personal foul, number 34. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That will go against the Bulldogs.
But there was another flag, maybe on the sideline. Are we going to say that the ball was kicked out of bounds, or was it touched first?
I think it was touched because they're standing at the 12.
So now it's going to be, what, half the distance from the 12? Oh, I don't know if he touched it or not. It's tough to tell if he touched it.
Boy,
but they are going to mark the penalty off from the 12-yard line, and it doesn't look like Batavia is going to give much of an argument here.
So we have played exactly 2 seconds in this second half. We've had an onside kick that was denied because of an illegal block. We've had a touch that we're wondering whether it's really touched, then a personal foul call, and the ball ends up at the 6-yard line in a 42-21 game. What a start here to the second half. Well, now the Bulldogs, as they say, working from the shadow of their goalposts. Neither team has had this extreme of poor field position here in the half. Vander Lugaren from his goal line. He'll get it out, get a little breathing room. Out to the 13-yard line. Let's see where the forward progress goes as Brett Berggren pulled that one in. Batavia's gone to 5 different receivers in this game. For Berggren, that's his 5th reception.
Yeah,
well,
good job.
7 on first down.
Yeah, good job by Berggren, and way to get the ball out of your hands if you're Vander Lugaren. We talked a little bit about that 2-quarterback system. Bodie Anderson started the game. Vander Lugaren is starting the second half for Batavia. They just can't get anything going in the run game against that front 7 of Mount Carmel. But Vander Lugaren has done a really nice job for Batavia. He's got 217 yards passing. He's thrown the ball a lot. He's 18 of 28 so far in this game. Anderson only 1 pass attempt. He was the one that was injured earlier in the season, though, for Batavia.
Batavia, 70% third down conversion, 7 of 10 in the first half. This is a very crucial 3 yards they need right here. Here comes Muha. Vander Lugaren gets rid of it in a hurry. I don't know. Let's see where they give it to. I think they may. This is going to be close.
I think they're going to say that he has just enough. Zay Brown on the quick inside slant does a nice job of getting exactly what Batavia needs to move the chains. Really big first down.
It is a first down. That's crucial. But now with the 3-touchdown lead, you can see Caravan defense getting ready to pin their ears back a little bit here.
Yeah, and you and I talked off camera, Dave, during halftime a little bit about, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to bring pressure, dial up that inside linebacker blitz from Matt Muha. They did it on third down, but Batavia did a nice job of picking it up.
To the right side. Positive yardage. Completion to Isaiah Brown. Let's check in once again with Nicole down on the field.
Well, guys, you might have seen Quentin Burrell babying his left foot a little bit towards the end of the first half there. He took his cleat off before the half ended. He was looking at his toe. He had a lot of pain on his face, so was a little unsure what was going to happen when he came back out for the second half. But his helmet is on, and the trainers say he is good to go.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, Nicole. And Carmel could use a fellow that has caught a couple of touchdown passes out of his 3 receptions. Grayson Kelly, once again, from the Wildcat. Will set up another third down. Third and about a yard.
Batavia going with that jumbo package again. They only run a couple of plays out of this full house. Mount Carmel's able to get a substitution in, so they go to a 4-man front.
But now Batavia will take a timeout. So I think the Bulldogs were not anticipating that substitution, but it'll give us a chance to take a break. 8:48 to play. Start here to the second half. 42-21. Our score, Mount Carmel on top for the Bulldogs.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate.
Go ahead. Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you?
Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing?
Yes, all 3. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products.
Really?
That's right. Aetna also has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium.
Oh, I like that.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-AETNA-23 to find an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan that meets your unique needs.
November is dedicated to the men and women who served, giving those from every branch in conflict a chance to share their stories. Join us every Tuesday at 6 this month as Brandon Morano covers the stories of their work, service, and salutes those who have fallen. WCIA3 is honoring veterans' voices as a part of Celebrating Central Illinois. Sponsored by the McDonald Group, S&K Buick GMC, Copper Creek Contractors, and U of I Community Credit Union.
Best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Batavia has to call an early timeout here in the second quarter, and it's because on this crucial 3rd and 1, you can see here, Batavia's only got 10 guys on the field. They lined up in their full house formation, a couple of extra tight ends and big blocking backs, but you see there, if you try and count the red jerseys, there's only 10 on the field. So that's why Coach Piron had to call that quick timeout, try and make sure that Batavia had 11 on the field here, because this is a huge 3rd down that Batavia has to convert, and it's going to be Kelly and the Wildcat who's going to try and do it.
Grayson Kelly will take the snap, and he will take it forward. They only needed a yard. He got that and a little bit extra. So Batavia had to burn that timeout. It ends up getting them the first down. A little confusion there if you look at Kelly, number 7, Isaiah Brown. Okay, so the 2-yard markers had different downs on them, so they've got that squared away. It's first down. A little disjointed start to the second half all the way around. It's cold. And people have been out here a long time today working the chain gang, and officials, rough weather out there and rough going along that offensive front. Whitwell's not had much room to run tonight. 40 yards, 13 carries for Whitwell. He comes in averaging 5.8 yards per carry. 8 of the 13 games that Batavia's played this year, Whitwell's gone over 100 yards. Over the middle. And either looking for an empty space or a little bit mixed up in patterns, but it's going to be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, he was looking for Isaiah Brown on that play. They run a little bit of a crossing route on the outside where Brown is on the post route. But what's impressive about this Mount Carmel defense right now is the pressure they're starting to get on Batavia and Vanderluke Aaron. He wasn't able to step into that throw, had to throw it off of his back foot, and that's why that ball sailed high on him. Brings up a big 3rd down.
Looking for 9 yards. Looking to the right side, there is Brown. Can't handle it.
A really good timing route there. Again, Brown just not enough arm strength to get that ball all the way to the opposite sideline from the left hash. This is a really tough throw to make for a young kid outside the opposite numbers. He underthrows it a little bit. Brown tries to come back to it, just can't get his hands under it. And Batavia forced to punt. But a really good timing play there. They had a little bit of cushion. We'll see if they go back to that on their next offensive possession.
Brought the ball out from their 6-yard line. This time a good snap. Good kick. Cooper Lehman rolled down immediately. Good work on the kick coverage for Batavia specifically. That was Andrew Collada. About 5 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter and a 3-touchdown lead for the Caravan.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
So instruction there on the Mount Carmel sideline. Yeah, you see Mamuha, number 41, firing up his crew. Difference in average yards per play tonight. Mount Carmel 10.1 as they get their first offensive possession in the second half. Batavia at 4.9 yards per play. But good field position here for the Caravan at the 38. Elliott will pull it out. He'll throw it to Lehman, looks for a block, got one of them, and he'll get about a 5-6 yard pickup on first down.
That's the new age version of the triple option there, Dave, where you give that inside run look. You can run inside with your tailback. Your quarterback's able to try and get to the edge. And then you've got that wide receiver duo standing out there, one of them blocking, one of them just waiting for the screenplay. If the quarterback gets stopped, he just flips it out there. That's what they did there for that 6-yard gain.
There's your quarterback draw, and there's room for Elliott. Still in the move. He's going to angle to the 30. Elliott accelerating inside the 20-yard line. "40-yard run for Jack Elliott.
And he's coming right at you into your living room on the quarterback draw. Jake Elliott, good job tucking the ball away there. Almost gets caught from behind and might have gotten it poked out, but a very, very smart play by the senior quarterback to tuck that ball away. Mount Carmel cooking again inside the Batavia red zone.
Elliott now 307 yards of total offense, and he has a first down inside the 20. Looking for more offense. He's got it. Complete to the 10, to the 5, and scampering into the end zone. Stephen Winkler, the tight end, with the score for 17 yards.
I mean, that's just a really, really nice concept there by Mount Carmel. I love the play call there. As you saw, the tight end was in motion, and then they're going to kick it out to him after he gets past Cooper Lehman, and Lehman, who was one of the split-out wide receivers, is already throwing a block on the screen play. So it's a little bit of a different variation of a bubble screen, and it's a really, really nice formation and play call there to confuse the Batavia defense, as Mount Carmel's going to go for 2 here.
Elliott will take that snap, makes a one-handed grab. Interesting choice, says incomplete, and so we sit at a 48-21 lead for Mount Carmel. Number 9 right there, Jack Elliott, his 5th touchdown pass of the night. And those 5 touchdowns coming on just 12 completions. Mount Carmel hits that 48-point mark, and we've got some records after that. Here's a look back at the touchdown.
Yeah, you see the tight end go in motion. He's going to go past Lehman. And then as soon as he gets past Lehman, they know to snap the football. And it's just a little wide screen there. Really nice job by Lehman to throw that first block. And then the tight end does the rest by making a couple of guys miss. Winkler gets into the end zone. Nice job there by Mount Carmel to open this thing up again.
Well, on that one play you just saw, we just picked up 3 Class 7A records. The 5 touchdown passes from Elliott is a 7A record for touchdown passes. The 48 points scored by Mount Carmel is the most scored by a single team in a Class 7A game, and you add them all up, 69 points. That is the most combined points we have had in a 7A championship game. All of that on one play. From the 6-yard line. And barrely getting to the 20. The return was Brett Berggren. Well, it didn't seem like that long ago that it was a tight ball game. Berggren a little bit gimpy getting out of there. He's been a key receiver here tonight. Berggren with 5 catches for 88 yards.
You talked about not too long ago it was a tight ball game, Dave. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and this was a one-score game. It was 28-21 Mount Carmel. Batavia had just cut into that lead, and now you look up halfway through the third quarter, and man, Mount Carmel has really opened this thing up and laid it on Batavia through the last quarter and a half. Really nice job by the Caravan to step on Batavia when they had the chance.
There's Michael Vanderloop-Guerin, 32 passes, completed 20, 225 yards, touchdown, interception. And the other quarterback, Brody Anderson, has completed 1 pass for 9 yards.
Yeah, Vanderloop-Guerin had made a couple of really big plays early in the second quarter, and I think they just wanted to continue to ride the hot hand. That's why he's seen most of the action tonight.
Once again, he throws on a run. He's able to thread the needle. What a catch, what a throw. Vanderloop-Guerin finds his man. That's Lucas Stevenson. Boy, this is a sweet pass and catch.
Yeah, and this is very similar to those few plays that I talked about where they were really, really big plays for Vanderloop-Guerin and Batavia, as there's a player for Mount Carmel down. Looked like it was the defensive back on that play, Jackson Behrens, who's being attended to, but it was plays just very similar to that one that Vanderloop-Guerin just had. that I think showed Batavia that he was their best opportunity to maybe stay in this football game, as they knew they were going to have to go score for score with Mount Carmel, and they did it for a quarter and a half or more, but have struggled to keep up with the Caravan as of late.
Well, you take a look as far as points are scored for Mount Carmel. They scored 7 points in the last regular season game against a team we will see coming up next. That's Loyola Academy. But how about the playoffs? 56 points, 48, 49, 43, and with 5:15 to play in the third quarter, 48 points in the state championship game. So Batavia will have it at the 31-yard line and a first down. So the sophomore who was playing strictly sophomore football up until late in the regular season, he's thrown 32 passes in his championship game, and he's under pressure now. And a penalty flag is thrown on that play as Vanderbilt will throw it out of bounds. We've had a few penalty flags tonight.
Block in the back. Number 70 of the offense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Still first down.
That's our 14th penalty of the night, 7 each way. And it's becoming a little bit of a slog right now for Batavia. There's the block in the back.
Tell you what, we said his name a lot, but when Matt Muha brings pressure on this Mount Carmel defense, they are really disruptive as a unit.
There he is, and he trips up. He's able to get a hand on Vanderbilt and Matt Muha. A great speed for that linebacker spot, 5'11", 205. Tackle for Muha. Jordan Lynch says this guy's the best linebacker in the state.
Yeah, when you got a guy like that who can go sideline to sideline with a mobile quarterback, I mean, that's really, really special. And Muha can do that. He can also stuff the run on the inside as a Mike linebacker. He's the full package over there on that Mount Carmel defense. Leader and captain of that team.
Over the middle, Brown wide open. And it's a good thing that Xander Gorman flipped him down right around the ankles, because Brown had a little bit of room and a little bit of an angle.
Yeah, just a miscommunication in the secondary for Mount Carmel. They have completed that play, or excuse me, Batavia has tried to complete that play 2 or 3 different times in this game. And you see Brown now is going to head to the sideline, some sort of upper body injury. He says his shoulder's hurting him, but it was just a simple crossing route on that side. A speed out by the inside receiver and a quick slant or a skinny post by the outside receiver. And that time, Mount Carmel just couldn't defend it.
Tough throw along the far sideline. Brett Berggren has entered into the game and makes the catch. I am really impressed, first of all, with Berggren's hands. Secondly, with Vanderbilt, his accuracy on sideline throws.
Yeah, and Berggren, if you recall, on the second to last kickoff return, came up limping, and he's back out there making plays like that on the sideline for a first down. Really impressive by both of these kids from Batavia. Batavia has played well tonight. They just don't have enough firepower to hang with Mount Carmel.
It's about a hard-earned of a 3-yard run you're going to get. Nathan Whitwell will come up off the pile. In fact, Dennis Barron, his head coach, said he's a stud, an Ironman. He said his fitness level's the best in the school. Calls him the king of the combine. Actually picks up 4 on first down. Most time Vanderbilt has had. They'll have to get rid of it. He was looking at Brown. Brown is back in the ball game.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Piron earlier this week, he talked about how special this Mount Carmel front 3 was going to be. He talked about the pressure that they're able to create, and they've shown it tonight. And that's been the real problem for Batavia, is they haven't been able to stay on schedule and keep their quarterback in the pocket the way that they've wanted to. When they've had success, he's either had to get the ball out of his hands quick, or he's had to scramble and make plays with his feet before making throws. And that's all because Mount Carmel's been able to dial up pressure.
8th play of the drive results in a screen. First down and more to the 30. 25, banging his way forward is Nathan Whitwell out of the backfield. All the way down to the 24-yard line.
And that's a pressure beater right there. When you know you're getting a ton of pressure from the front three, what do? You dial up the middle screen. They do a good job of getting a hat to Matt Muha, their best defender, and then it's off to the races for Whitwell. A really nice job there by Batavia to get something going here late in the third.
20-plus yards on that completion from Vanderlukern. He's up to 256 yards throwing the ball, looking for more here. Brown cannot split the defenders. Coming up strong was number 6, Patrick Beakley. Beakley there.
Really good closing speed again by that Mount Carmel secondary. They do a really nice job of when the ball is thrown out there on the screen. They get as many hats to the ball as they can. That's something that you preach as a coach on defense, is you want to get as many hats to the ball, and they do a really, really nice job of getting 4, 5, 6 wide hats to the football on every single play.
Sophomore Vanderlukern 5 of 6 in the air on this drive. He pumps once, loads up, lets it fly into the end zone and incomplete. Vanderlukern took a hit. He is still down at the 28-yard line. Tried a couple of times to get to his feet. His assistance was offered by Ryan Myers, and Vanderlukern declined it.
Looks like maybe it's just a cramp, but he is going to have to come out of the ball game for at least a play, which means we're going to see Bodie Anderson. Anderson only 1 attempt and 1 completion tonight, 9 yards. He has thrown the ball just that one time, but he has ran the ball a couple of times from the quarterback position.
Great friendship between those two quarterbacks. I think there could be some resentment, but Anderson and Vanderlukern, baseball players, and as Vanderlukern came off the field, he gave Anderson a pat on the back, said, go get him here on 3rd and 7. Anderson quickly to the left side. Brown is there. How about Isaiah Brown? That ball's laid right on the money. Brown makes the catch. We have another penalty flag. You'll see that would have been Brown's 10th catch.
Number 61 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. Still third down.
This is the 7th game of our 2 days here, and I believe, having watched most of every game, that this may be a record for personal foul penalties in a state finals.
Well, and that's a big one, too, because it's not a dead ball personal foul, so it was something that happened during the play as he's going to come out of the ball game. So it happened during the play, which means that it wipes out the 3rd down conversion from Anderson to Brown. And at least that's what I believe, but the officials are having a conversation here. They seem to be confused on whether it was a dead ball foul or if it was during play.
Well, I did not see the flag come out or when the flag came out. They're going to walk this back.
They're going to keep walking it back. So they're going to say it's during the play, which means it is going to be 3rd down still. I mean, just a huge drive-killing penalty for Batavia. Now, they still have a chance to get this, but there's not a call on the play sheet for 3rd and 25.
Let's see how Anderson creates. And that was a tough spot right there. He just ran in to Joey Quinn. Boy, we have mentioned Quinn's name several times. Caleb Tucker was in the middle of that.
This feels very similar to that second-to-last drive that Batavia had in the first half, Dave, where they got all the way down to the 30, and then it ended up being 4th and forever, and then they took a knee on the punt, which gave Mount Carmel great field position. Very similar here. They are going to, it looks like, go for it now on 4th down, which I think you have to.
Right.
Being down 4 scores.
Here comes the blitz with Vanderloop Aaron back into the ball game. He's going to have to throw it, but a penalty flag is thrown behind him. Vanderloop Aaron on the move. And as Vanderloop Aaron was leaving a pocket, the penalty flag was thrown. Really have not gotten into a rhythm of this game here in the 3rd quarter.
Holding, number 54, offense.
Well, short of the 1st down if they decline the penalty.
With the way that the half started, yeah, they are going to decline it. With the way that the half started with a couple of penalties, the surprise onside kick that gets called back, you're right. I mean, it just seems like the whole thing has been very disjointed. The only thing that really had any type of rhythm or flow to it was the Mount Carmel offense when they touched the football that one time.
They'll get it back here at the 24-yard line with 35 seconds to play in the 3rd.
And you can see that frustration spilling over kind of on the Batavia sideline. You see Coach Piron unhappy with how the 3rd quarter has gone for his Bulldogs.
Elliott's able to stay alive and stay in his feet. Takes a hit, keeps on moving. Micah Johnson gave him a pop, but Elliott stayed on his feet. The clock will stop with Elliott going out of bounds. Only 1 touchdown here in this quarter. That's when Stephen Winkler caught a 17-yard touchdown pass from Elliott. That was after 9 touchdowns in the 1st half. Taylor in the backfield behind Elliott. Taylor gets the call, some room to run. Gets out to the 35.
This is when, if you're Mount Carmel, as you head into the 4th quarter, you want to start to lean on that big offensive line that you've got and that strong back in Taylor in the backfield. They're going to take this to the 4th quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mount Carmel continues to lean on those guys for the last 12 minutes here to ice this game away.
So the 1 touchdown scored by the Caravan, enough to push them out to a 27-point lead as we play 3 quarters here in your Class 7A championship game. Mount Carmel looking for a 3-peat.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate.
Go ahead. Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you?
Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing?
Yes, all 3. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products.
Really?
That's right. Aetna also has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium.
Oh, I like that.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-AETNA-23 to find an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan that meets your unique needs.
Right arm, right leg. Left leg, left arm. Both legs above the knee. Both legs, part of my left hand.
Lost both my legs in Iraq.
These 9/11 veterans are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans, thanks to our donors and supporters. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Your third game of the day is a Class 7A state championship ball game. There's your score at the end of 3 quarters of play. Early on this morning, we started 10 o'clock, and what a thriller we had in that one. Joliet Catholic Academy and Nazareth Academy with 20 seconds left. JCA scores to pull within 2. Hilltoppers looking for a 2-point conversion, unable to convert. And with that, JCA denied a chance for its 16th state championship. But Nazareth Academy wins its 3rd in a row under head coach Tim Rackey, and that's how the day started. The state champs in Class 5A. We move to 6A, and there you see East St. Louis picking up 3rd title in the last 5 years with a 48-28 win and 48 points scored here in this 7A championship ball game. Hilltoppers will look for more, and before we get a snap, there's a couple of penalty flags thrown. So a false start against the Caravan.
Could the fourth quarter have started any other way?
No.
I mean, the way this game has gone, of course there would be a penalty flag thrown before we even got a playoff.
I've had the shakes since the kickoff of the second half. The outside kick, block in the back. Ball goes out of bounds. Penalty. That's when we played 2 seconds. Elliott on the handoff. Here is Taylor. You called it, Chris. He's at the 40, the 45. He motors ahead across midfield.
And this is why Mount Carmel is so dangerous, because they haven't even had to run the ball yet tonight, right? Their all-state quarterback, Jack Elliott, has controlled this game. He's got all the touchdowns, and they haven't even had to show Taylor and this big physical offensive line yet. And now it's the fourth quarter, and it's time for them to take over and put this game away. Nice run there to start the quarter for Taylor.
Quentin Burrell back into the ball game for Mount Carmel. Caravan 10-3 on the season. Screen over the middle. Excellent job defensively by Batavia. But look at the power going forward inside the 40.
That looked like it was going to be a gain of 1 or 2, and Taylor turns it into a gain of 9. Nice job keeping the legs moving there for the tailback. And Dave, this stat that I'm about to tell you just goes to show that one stat can't tell the whole story for a football game. But Batavia has controlled time of possession today, 27 minutes to 8.5 minutes for Mount Carmel. 27 minutes. Batavia held the ball for 10 minutes and 10 seconds in the third quarter and didn't score.
So is that one of these good news, bad news things? Or
Well,
is
it just
goes
to show that, I mean, Batavia has really done a nice job on offense of controlling the football and moving down the field against Mount Carmel, but it's been bend but don't break for the Caravan defense, especially in the last quarter and a half here. They've done a really nice job against Batavia to hold them out of the end zone. And for Mount Carmel, it's been their big play offense that has gotten them to this 27-point lead.
Spinning to his left. Throwing as he moves. There's Lehman. He will make the catch. Good enough for a first down. Well, we've seen Jack Elliott make just about every throw, right? Rolling to his right, rolling to his left. But what did he do there? Squared his shoulders up. Found Lehman. And with that, the ball inside the 30.
You're right, Dave. Good job of getting downhill on that roll to his left. That's a really tough throw for a quarterback to make, especially a high school quarterback. And you can see Elliott does it with ease.
Now he looks right. There's Lehman again. Cooper Lehman inside the 10. Still on his feet. Fights down to the 4-yard line. Cooper Lehman headed to Western Michigan University. 23-yard pickup. The first and goal.
Cooper Lehman making men miss. He comes up a little bit hobbled here. I don't know if he's going to have to come out of the game or not, but he's still hobbling around. They're going to keep him in the game, but a really nice job here shows off his quickness after he gets this football in his hands, making men miss and getting down inside the 5. Really nice job. As they're in the Wildcat now, it's Muha.
Muha into the end zone and an interception. Wow. So Matt Muha comes in. You would think the linebacker may be just running it right up the gut. He's looking to throw a touchdown pass, but instead an interception.
So Elliott was still in the game, and Muha comes in, and Elliott's lined up at a tight end here. They're trying to throw the ball to Elliott. Muha, it's a little jump pass, reminiscent of Tim Tebow, mid-2000s Florida, right? They try and put 2 tight ends in the game, make it look like they are trying to score with Muha, and he tries to give the touch pass. It's going to be Batavia ball coming out of the break.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Mount Carmel drive stopped in the end zone. As Matt Muha was looking for Jack Elliott, but Chase Osborne had a little bit different idea here, Chris.
Yeah, it was an interesting play that Jordan Lynch dials up here. And Batavia, while they do look confused, seem to sniff it out pretty well. It's Osborne, who's a heck of a player on the back end, who comes up with that play and gives Batavia the ball back.
Vanderbilt Guerin gets it out to Kelly as we come back, as Batavia's possession starts with about 9 minutes to play in this game. No gain on that play. Maybe a loss of a yard or two. Grayson Kelly's been all over the field. Junior, he'll be back alongside number 8 there. Vanderbilt Guerin, a sophomore. Here comes pressure again. He will step forward and get out to the 22-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and long.
We've started to talk a lot, Dave, about this Mount Carmel defense and how well they've played over the last quarter and a half. The last time Batavia saw the end zone was that 5:14 mark of the second quarter.
That ball is slung. Nice grab. Again, Vanderbilt Guerin into traffic. Lucas Stevenson makes his second catch of the night.
Vanderbilt Guerin almost at 300 yards now in this game. He's done a really nice job here as a sophomore on the biggest stage in the state.
Yeah, illegal procedure call will back it up 5 yards. He'll have to work a little more. Well, if you take a look, if you just showed up here.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And you saw number 8 on the offensive side of the ball, the quarterback, Michael Vanderbilt Guerin. You would have no clue that he is just a sophomore who's only played about half a season on the varsity.
He's got 41 attempts. So it shows you that man right there, Dennis Piron, has all the faith in the world in this sophomore.
He's able to avoid pressure. And now catch me if you can. Vanderbilt Guerin. Oh, my goodness. Makes a big-time pop. And penalty flags once again. Stephen Winkler got a good one in on Vanderbilt Guerin.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
I did not see the face mask at the end of that play. It was a good, hard, aggressive hit. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, He does have a hold of the face mask. That's a good call. He's got a hold of the face mask. It's right in front of the official as he brings him down. It's a really good call and an unbelievable play by Luke. Oh, no.
And Anderson will be down right there.
Yeah, that was Luke Aaron on the play before. He did a really nice job to get all the way back to the original line of scrimmage after scrambling for about 80 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Anderson there with a tough play as he steps just on his own shoelace there. It's going to make it second and very long for Batavia.
The second half has a completely different tone than our first half. We had 9 touchdowns scored in the first half. We went back and forth 6 times. These teams traded touchdowns. Vanderclearen's back in. The screen will get a yard or 2. Whitwell on the receiving end of that pass. Coming up, Loyola Academy against York. Those 2 teams played last year in the semifinals. Loyola come away victors en route to their second state championship in succession.
That should be a really good game in 8A. 2 big physical teams. We've had a really good game here in 7A as well. It's been a nice day of football here at Hancock Stadium. So that one, the nightcap, should be an exciting one as we close out the season.
And that one is narrowly picked off as, once again, Javi Payne in the middle of everything.
He read the eyes of the quarterback really well there, broke well on that football to bring up 4th down for Batavia. Great job by Isaiah Brown, turning from wide receiver to defensive back to break up this pass, actually. Really good play there. You see him break on the ball. Nice job. Go up and get it. And Brown's actually the one that saves that one from probably going all the way back to the house for a pick 6.
Bulldogs to go forward here on 4th and 16 with 6.5 minutes to play in this 7A championship game. Vanderclearen throws it away. I think he kind of lost track of the downs. Another penalty flag thrown at the 6:26 mark. And here's our call.
Holding 71 of the offense. The penalties decline. First down. Oh, first down. First down.
Whitehead has gotten a lot of screen time here tonight. 6:26 to play in a ball game. Still sitting in that 48-21 lead for Mount Carmel.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care. In person or virtual. We're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
With 6:26 to play, it's time for our defensive play of the game. It's brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families.
Well, just when we thought that Batavia had a chance to cut into that lead right before halftime, Javi Payne comes up with the big play for the Caravan in the end zone. That was with just a few minutes before we went to the break. Mount Carmel put 2 more scores on the board and have not looked back since, and it was all after that pick by Javi Payne.
Payne, not only the interception, but an 83-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Elliott still on his feet. To the 15, he'll drag a man down near the 12. Jack Elliott tonight has thrown for 277 yards. And that run should put him over the 100-yard mark rushing. 19 on that, give him 110 on the ground.
I mean, he's just a special, special talent. Coach Lynch talked about his leadership, talked about how this is Jack Elliott's team. He runs the offense, and, man, he sure has run it really well tonight.
Taylor looks to bounce to the outside. Brought down. Nice tackle back there by Cayley.
Tripped up by Luke and Gardner.
I've been told there's a penalty flag on the field. Well, we go about, they're penalties, right? Period. They're penalties.
14. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that will walk it back. But it feels like if you go 3 plays without a penalty, it's really a major accomplishment in this game.
We can absolutely look it up. I don't know. We've got some great stat guys here with us on the broadcast, and they've been telling us about all these penalties. I don't know how many plays that we've run today, but I think you're right, Dave. There's probably been a penalty on 30% of the plays that we've run today.
Taylor will look to get a block to the outside. Waits for it, and that will allow Batavia to close him down. 30% of plays with penalties.
It's got to be close to that. I don't know the number, but holy cow.
Okay. So our ace statistician, Nick Pinto, says we've run 120 offensive plays, and we've had 20 accepted penalties.
Man, it's really tough for either team to get into a rhythm when that's the case.
Here comes to the near side, and Batavia right there. And who is that stopping that play? Chase Osborne. He had that contained. That's a film study right there for Chase Osborne, number 20.
Yeah, and he's making that play all the way from his safety position. And he's all over the field for Batavia.
9th tackle of the night for Osborne. His defensive coordinator, Matt Holm, calls him, he's a little man's hero.
Yeah, and Coach Piron earlier called him our own little Batavia Bulldog, is what he called him. He said we're going to see him all over the field, and I tell you what, he's lived up to the billing on the Batavia side tonight as well. He has played a tremendous state title game for Batavia.
Elliott looking into the end zone. Taylor is there. Did he get a foot in bounds? And yes, indeed, touchdown. Elliott, his 6th touchdown pass of the night. It goes for 15 yards to Danielle Taylor.
That's a wheel route by the tailback. Really nice job there to get into the end zone and toe tap his way for 6.
And this 4th quarter touchdown is brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
It's kind of an extended rub route by Mount Carmel. They run the double post with the wheel behind it out of the backfield, and that's a really nice job of clearing the space. No Batavia defenders out there. It's going to be a linebacker that's going to have to come out and guard the running back out of the backfield, and he's just too late on the play. And when you've got a guy like Jack Elliott who's going to throw the football, he's always on time, and he finds Taylor in the end zone.
Danielle Taylor, we talk about him being a running back, wide receiver, safety this time. He'll make the catch and gets those feet down. 55 points on the board for Mount Carmel. They have scored the last 27 points of this game.
And we give a lot of credit to Elliott for how well he throws the football on the run. But, man, these wide receivers have made some great catches tonight as well for Mount Carmel.
Let's check in with Nicole Senevi.
Well, guys, the Caravan have put 55 points up on the board. The party has started here on the sideline as they're looking forward to winning this state championship game. But I was chatting with athletic director Phil Seagroves here on the sideline. He said they will have a party back home of over 1,000 people tonight. They're going to have a police escort into town. There'll be pizza, there'll be alumni, there'll be former players, and the celebrations will go into tomorrow. I don't know, maybe we should jump on that caravan and get some pizza. What do you say?
I think the most accurate statement he said is it's going to go into tomorrow because they won't even be in Chicago until probably 1 in the morning, Dave, with the way that this game is gone. It'll go well into tomorrow. The sun will be up by the time that celebration's over on Dante.
Picked up at the 20-yard line. Nice little return going on. Osborne with it. Chase Osborne not going to go down easily. Finally dragged down in front of his own bench.
I mean, I love it. Chase Osborne's given everything he's got, and look at his teammates rallying behind him. Yeah, the game might be out of hand with 4 minutes to go, but he's not giving up. The team isn't either, and you can see the smiles after that really, really hard run in return. He's going to get a well-deserved break on the sideline here for a second. Catch his breath.
You know, Nicole talked about the celebration. It's not going to be just a celebration for this one championship, but this will be the 16th in history for Mount Carmel, and that means they alone will have the most state titles in IHSA football history. And, of course, earlier during this weekend, you heard that Mount Carmel voted the #1 high school football program in Illinois over the past 20 years. Actually, over the past, I see number 28, and I saw number 20, Chase Osborne, in the last 50 years. So Whitwell to carry on that one. No, they've already got the caps out. Okay. That's Jack Elliott.
A lot of subs on the field for Mount Carmel. You can see some guys who are getting some well-deserved time here in the state title game.
Whitwell again. He'll look to scoot to the outside.
This is a highlight of the season for a lot of these guys. They spend all year working as hard as some of the starters do. They don't get as much playing time as maybe they'd like or mom or dad would like sometimes. But you know what? When you get a chance to play on the final weekend of the year and you get your opportunity in the state title game, you got to try and make the most of it. And that's what these guys are going to do here for the last 3.5 minutes.
And the other part of that is what you see right there is you get to see the folks that have gotten the most playing time tonight and get a chance to celebrate here with 3:40 to play in the game. Andrew Guerin being chased to the end zone, has a man open, and that skips into Berggren's hands. He was being chased by Damon Banks.
What a game that man had right there. Cooper Lehman did a really nice job for Mount Carmel. He's their leading receiver, had over 100 yards receiving quietly. Had over 100 yards. They're going to get that Gatorade a little bit colder for Coach Lynch. They're dumping the extra ice in there, ready to give him that celebratory Gatorade bath. I love it.
It's all about timing, fellas. All about timing. Timing and deception. Whitwell again able to bang his way forward. Bulldogs fighting here to the very end with the clock moving with 3:20 to play. We have an 8A game to follow. Loyola Academy taking on York, and we saw Loyola Academy out earlier watching their Mount Carmel Caravan, the fellow members of the Chicago Catholic League. Those two teams played. Here we go. Oh, Jordan Lynch still has the moves.
That looks like that might be the second Gatorade bath he's gotten. He's already soaked.
Yeah, that one I think he avoided, but now that's pretty clever, right? Get him one time, you kind of let your guard down, but Lynch was all over it.
Not Coach Lynch. He's been through this too many times. He knows when a Gatorade bath is coming. He can sense it. Did a nice job of getting out of the way there. But you can see he's gotten his fair share already tonight, no doubt.
That shirt is a little discolored now. Looking into the end zone, coverage is there, and this pass is a little bit out of bounds. Intended receiver, Isaiah Brown. You hear the whistles. And here is your call on this penalty. 3:01 left. We'll take our time determining what this penalty is in a 55-21 game with 3 minutes to play in the game. Here we go.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 61 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Down to...
We've had our share of 15-yard penalties here this weekend. This one will take it back to the 45-yard line. Fourth down and 7. Now make it 22 yards to go. Scoreboard catching up. Over the middle for Bergeron. He's got it. Touchdown. Vanderloop Aaron to Brett Bergeron. 45-yard touchdown pass. Batavia their first points since late in the second quarter.
No quit in this Batavia team. You got to give them a lot of credit for continuing to try and find the end zone here late in this game. It's not going to be the result that they wanted tonight, but what a play by Vanderloop Aaron. He finds Bergeron wide open. He has had an incredible night, has Vanderloop Aaron. He is now set a record for most passing yards in a game in a 7A state title game. He's got over 340 yards through the air as a sophomore. 29 of 47 is the sophomore for Batavia.
Let's say we go back to September 26th. And you told Michael Vanderloop Aaron, you're going to set a state 7A record. You're going to throw the ball, like you said, 47 times, 345 yards. Is that something that even he believes?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't even know if you asked Coach Buron there that if he thought that was possible, he'd say, I think you're out of your mind. But, I mean, for him to come into this game and to play like this as a sophomore, the composure that he's had, again, has the game gone their way? No. But to sit in the pocket the way that he has tonight and taking some hits, to extend plays the way that he has with his feet, and to be able to always keep his eyes downfield and find the open receiver, it's been really impressive to watch him. I mean, we've talked a lot about the quarterback on the other side for Mount Carmel, Jack Elliott. But there's been times in this game where Vanderloop Aaron has gone toe-to-toe with the best quarterback in the state. And, I mean, you look at his numbers, and 29 of 47, 343, 2 scores. He did have the 1 interception, but, I mean, the numbers support that, man, he's got a bright future ahead of him, and so does that Batavia sideline there. So certainly nothing to hang your head on if you're Batavia. They've had an incredible year. They just ran into a really, really good team in Mount Carmel tonight.
You know, this year has been called the year of the quarterback across the state of Illinois. So many outstanding junior and senior quarterbacks, and that list comes out again next fall. Will be Michael Vanderloop Aaron right up near the top. There he is. There are his numbers. Again, he didn't get his name on his uniform until a week or so ago. And here's an onside kick attempt. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. That's Batavia football.
There was an open spot. It was found perfectly that time by Caleb Peters. So any offensive players from Mount Carmel that thought they might get some minutes are going to have to wait a little bit here.
I mean, this is one of the best onside kicks in high school I've seen in a long time. It's a really good job. It checks up at the right time. Some really, really good speed by Batavia to get down there and come up with the football.
Yeah, that was...
I mean, that's to perfection.
Boy, what pride is there, too, with that. You practice that onside kick, and then you execute in a state championship ball game, no matter what the score is here. Mount Carmel will take a timeout. They'll get their personnel all lined up.
Yeah, Mount Carmel only had 10 on the field there, so they had to try and get an 11th player on the field there before the ball was snapped, so they had to use the timeout.
Well, we've got a few to choose from, but I think this is pretty much the clear-cut favorite. Your player of the game is brought to you by Country Financial. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more. Number 9, Jack Elliott for Mount Carmel.
Yeah, you got the scoring started early for Mount Carmel. Had a touchdown pass on the very first drive, and then 30 seconds later had a touchdown run on a very similar play that broke down. He was able to make it happen with his arm, his legs, everything tonight. What a job by the senior. What a way to go out. Back-to-back state titles as the starting quarterback for Mount Carmel.
407 total yards and a combined 7 touchdowns. Vanderlookeern down to Berggren. Berggren spins, and he will go in. Vanderlookeern will add to his numbers. 49 yards on that touchdown pass. And Batavia scores again following the onside kick. Only took them 18 seconds from the last time they scored. This has been a pretty potent combo here tonight as well. Vanderlookeern to Berggren.
He's going to have 3 touchdowns now, does Berggren, with 191 yards receiving. Those are going to be both 7A state records. I mean, the numbers in this game tonight are just off the charts.
And that extra point from Peters misses, so we will sit at a combined 89 points scored. Well, do we see another onside kick?
I don't know which. It was not the hands team out there the last time for Mount Carmel, and the hands team's out there now. So a lot of those guys that you saw, I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie, Dave. I was a little shocked when I saw those hats come out of that box for Mount Carmel with 4.5 minutes to go. A lot of those guys who had those hats on are headed back out there on hands team now. I mean, this game is a little bit closer, I think, than Coach Jordan Lynch would like at this point now with those 2 quick scores. So you're going to see guys like Lehman and Muha and Burrell and all those guys come back onto the field and try and recover an onside kick now from Batavia.
We still have 2:36 to play, but 982 yards of total offense tonight in this game with 89 points. Well, there's a lot of familiar numbers out there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Arvide will fake the onside kick. Peters will do the honors, but her whistle's right at the top, and there may have been a little offsides here. Well, if you're just joining us, you're saying, well, it should be about halftime of that Class 8A championship game. Well, that's your time left in your 7A game. Mount Carmel and York have been waiting a long time. But, you know, I have to say that with that weight behind us, the way we're situated here, we're on the west side of Hancock Stadium, which is also the east side of Horton Fieldhouse, where ISU used to play all their basketball games. And you can look down into Horton Fieldhouse from where we are, and it is the fan section. And boy, did York fill that up. There was a lot of green back there. You may have actually heard the band playing in the background.
That's what I was just going to say. I wonder if anybody on the broadcast has heard the York band playing in the background here. I'm excited for this 8A game. I mean, you can see York starting to fill the east side of, the west side of Hancock Stadium here. This is going to be a battle for 8A. Can't wait to watch that one.
The onside kick this way. Nice hop and grab there by Madden Wilson. He'll be down at the 35-yard line. Yeah, my apologies. I got my east and west mixed up here at the Hancock Stadium and Gordon Fieldhouse. It's the west side of the stands here.
That's okay. Your head's been spinning, like you said, ever since. I mean, the only thing I see when I close my eyes right now are yellow flags. That's all that's all I'm going to see them in my sleep tonight. You can see the York fans, the student section's already here, getting ready to go. It doesn't matter what time this game kicks off for them. They're going to be excited and ready to go, and those girls are excited because that onside kick recovery from Mount Carmel might have just sealed that 7A state title for the Caravan.
Will be the first appearance in the state championship game for York. And on the other side, Loyola Academy will be looking for its third in a row. Now the cap adorns the head of the head coach.
Change at quarterback for Mount Carmel.
Long snap count. Looking to get a block to the outside. Victor Fryer. The quarterback in for Mount Carmel is Emmett Dowling. Fryer takes it out to the 26-yard line, but this one will be coming back. The holding call. Final game of the high school football season in Illinois. The York Dukes and the Ramblers from Loyola Academy. York made it to semifinals each of the last 3 years. They cracked through this year. Look at that offense. They're ready to go. These guys are ready to take a snap here in your state championship game in 7A. Dowling, the quarterback. This is Fryer again. He has stood up.
Mount Carmel fans or fans of the state finals will recognize that Dowling name. We called the 2022 state title game against these two teams down in Champaign. His brother was the quarterback on that team.
Blaney Dowling leading to the first of the string of state championships. Listen. Ball at the 41-yard line, and Dowling will watch that play clock wind down. And Dowling will keep it. And he will get to the 39-yard line. Now let's see where they spot the ball, because they put it in a certain spot. I will tell you that is 500 yards of total offense for Mount Carmel here this evening. 500 yards of offense, 55 points on the board.
Just impressive by both teams here. And Batavia is not far behind them. They're 10 yards behind Mount Carmel.
46 plays lead to 55 points.
This is likely the last play of the game here, but what a 7A state title game we have had to finish out the season for both Batavia and Mount Carmel. A lot of credit to both of these teams for an unbelievable year.
Batavia will finish the season at 12-2. Mount Carmel will go to 11-3, and that is the last play. And with that, the Mount Carmel Caravan have won the most state football championships in IHSA history. It comes here in the 50th anniversary of the state football playoffs as Mount Carmel goes back to back to back for state titles. 9 touchdowns scored in the first half combined between these 2 points, but it was that interception you saw earlier that turned this game around, and Mount Carmel just put their foot down and pulled away for the 55-34 win. We've got a ceremony, not only with caps, but with trophies and medals for Mount Carmel and Batavia when we come back.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future. Epic Black Friday deals at Menards are back. Pick up this 12-volt cordless drill kit for only $9.99. Get a dual-head LED work light with tripod for just $14.99. Secure big savings on a 4-pack ratchet strap set, now just $4.97. Or snag these giant 54-inch snow tubes for only $9.99 each. Hurry in for best selection. Don't miss out. These deals won't last long.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
I am standing by the state champ, Class 7A quarterback of Mount Carmel, Jack Elliott. Jack, 6 touchdowns in the state championship game, 292 yards for you. Could you have dreamed up this ending of your career here at Mount Carmel?
Yeah, it's a pretty special ending. Not even just individually, just as a program. You know, no 6-3 team in history of Mount Carmel's ever won state. Battled through that. And then, obviously, the scoreboard shows #1 program in the state, 16 state championships, IHSA record. So, I mean, it's pretty special.
You said it, that IHSA record, 16 state titles. You guys went for the 3-peat back-to-back for yourself as a starting quarterback. How proud of you are you to be part of this legacy?
Yeah, I came in as an 8th grader, not knowing much about Mount Carmel other than it was just football. And then came in, and it was a brotherhood, and learned that guys were willing to die for this, and we did. And we got the 16th state championship.
Amazing. Go celebrate with your team, Jack. Thank you so much. All right, let's toss over to our public address announcer now for the ceremony.
Fans, we direct your attention to the 50-yard line for the awards presentations fueled by Illinois Farm Families. Members of the Illinois High School Association Board of Directors will present the awards. Board members available tonight are Augie Fontanetta of New Trier, Ron Lear of Plainfield North, Dwayne Bates of Glenbard East, and Tom Shergan of Chicago de La Salle. First, for the Batavia Bulldogs, Superintendent Tom Kim, Principal Joanne Smith, Athletic Director Dave Andrews, Coach Dearest Prawn, and the captains of runner-up Batavia will receive special medallions from the board members, presented to the administrators and to Coach Prawn and his team captains. And now the second place trophy will be presented to the Bulldogs of Batavia, who finished the season with a final record of 12 wins and 2 losses. And now for the presentation of the first place awards and trophy. For Mount Carmel, President Brandon Conroy, Principal Scott Tabernacki, Athletic Director Phil Seagroves, Coach Jordan Lynch, and the captains of champion Mount Carmel step forward. A special medallion is being presented to the administrators, and individual awards will be presented to Coach Lynch and his team captains. Class 7A championship trophy is presented to the Caravan of Mount Carmel, who finished the season with a final record of 11 wins and 3 losses.
Well, we don't have time to list them all because we would miss the kickoff of the 8A championship game, but our stage manager Nico Hefflinger has provided me 13 state records in this state championship game, and several of these belong to Mr. Jack Elliott.
What a performance by both teams. And Jack Elliott, what a way to go out. A lot of people billed him as the best team in the state going into the season, and he lived up to the billing tonight. What an impressive game by Mount Carmel, by their senior leader who's headed to Vanderbilt. Just an unbelievable finish to the 7A season here at Hancock Stadium.
State championship trophy goes to Mount Carmel, and that means it's time now for our Menards Plays of the Game. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And our Plays of the Game today, our state championships. For Nazareth Academy, 3 in a row. For East St. Louis, yet another title. And here's Mount Carmel, the record 16th state championship in IHSA history, their 3rd championship in succession. 7A champions here in 2024. The Caravan will leave the field. They may escort their Catholic League compatriots, the Loyola Academy Ramblers. That 8A game is coming up next. But before we get to that game, let's get back to the studio. Marshall Harris, Edgy Tim O'Halloran, Kenny McReynolds standing by to recap this one and preview 8A.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Contrary to popular belief, Oprah was not at this game yelling, "You get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown."
You get a penalty, you get a penalty, you get a penalty.
That too. We had so many of both. 13 touchdowns in this game, nearly 1,000 yards of total offense, over 200 yards worth of penalties, and that's why if you're expecting to see maybe halftime of the 8A game, you're a little bit early, but don't go anywhere because we promise you we do have York and Loyola coming up. But first we got to deal with what this game was, which was a story of 2 halves, and at the end of the day, it didn't matter which half you were talking about. Loyola came out on top.
Well, you know what, I think Mount Carmel showed why they're the best team in the state of Illinois. More state championships than anybody else. The most difficult thing to do in sports is to be a star when you're supposed to be a star. And let's face it, I know I sound like a broken record. Elliott, the best player in the state, 292 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he rushed for 115 yards. The best player in the state.
Don't forget about that rushing touchdown as well. Can't leave that out. And really, this was a culmination of sorts for this senior class led by Elliott.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it was a dominant victory. We talked at the beginning of the show, what adjustments could Batavia make? They found a quarterback. They found a sophomore quarterback in Vanderloop Garden. And again, that's something to build on for next year. Guys, they showed some power, just didn't have the firepower to hang with the Caravan.
All right, so a beautiful job there by Mount Carmel, winning now a record 16th state title. They're still celebrating. They'll have to get off the field soon because we do have that York and Loyola game coming up next. But first, we're going to give you some highlights and talk more about the stats on the other side.
For people who feel limited by the unpredictable